the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sarge McCluskey. What's going on, bro?
Well, you already know, so I don't have some kind of 24-hour, 48-hour flu.
Sarge's on the he's got a bug.
Yeah,
so if it makes you feel better, I have sympathy pains for my wife. She broke her foot last week. That's why we didn't have a show, and my right foot for some reason is bruised. I don't know where the hell it happened. It's it hurts like a bitch, and I'm like, great. She's like, you can't let me win this one. I was like, I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to try to do anything wrong. But yeah, so I'm injured on I sprained my foot.
Yeah, I had to choose between taking cold medicine before the show or wait till after. So I'm on the tail end of nothing now. And so I can't take anything else until later. Otherwise, so right now, my brain is in.
Oh, so you're in La La Land right now.
I'm in La La Land because I can't take any more medicine. I have to wait because I didn't want to be. So I look like crap. I already know this, but the show must go on.
It must go on. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Grand Theft Auto. We're going to be talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance, on how the devs are not making it where the instant gratification. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about the Switch 2. We're going to talk all about Battlefield. Since we didn't have a show last week, Sarge, we're also going to bring up last week we talked about Dauntless. Dauntless is closing. We're not closing down, but they're basically it's done for me. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Game Pass or Xbox clarifying that they sent out an email to people talking about World of Warcraft coming to console. And they were like, oopsie, that was a mistake. So we'll talk about that as well. We're going to talk about Disney's hotel that they had, because we've been following this thing before it got built. The $1 billion hotel that they made that failed miserably, the Star Wars a Galactic Cruiser, and what they're going to be using it for in the future. We're going to talk about Multiversus, because that's a game that's also closing down. It's not Vagoted yet, but it is closing down. And then we're going to talk about BioWare. And then we're going to talk about the 3 trailers. We're going to talk about Superman, right? The new trailer that came out about a month ago. We're going to talk about Fantastic Four. And we're going to talk about Jurassic Park. And we're going to talk about these because 3 major movies coming out in the same exact month. I want to know your opinion, Sarge, and which one do you think is actually going to... Because you go to the movies all the time, right? You're the one that watches more movies than I do now in the actual theater. So if you only had to pick one, we're going to find out which one Sarge is going to watch. Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic Park. Right? If you guys like this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We do this Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on 30NSG. You can also watch us right now on X. You can watch us after the fact on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. Sarge, we moved up a spot. 2 weeks ago when we were talking about where we were, the best Gen X podcasts, we were at the 4th spot. Yeah. We're now at the 3 spot. We're at the 3 spot, Sarge.
All right, we need to keep this in the corner someplace.
Yeah.
We need to put this little thing in the corner.
I don't know if this means anything, but they keep sending me emails, and they're like, "This is where you're ranked." I'm like, "Cool,
awesome."
I have no idea.
Do I have to get a mullet now and wear a Van Halen T-shirt?
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what has to happen? I'll go online right now and I'll buy a bunch of Van Halen T-shirts and get a mullet wing.
Don't do that.
Why?
Do that. The viewership will go down.
No, 80s level will go up. The 80s level will go up.
Yeah, maybe a minuscule. So, what else? We do live streams, we do uploads, we do podcasts over here on 30NSG. We have a new channel that we started yesterday. It's called 30 and Still Jamming. It's our AI parody music site with original writings with AI help for music. That's 30 and Still Jamming. You can go check that out. It's in the link down below, or in the channel description down below as well. So we have Nerdy with 30 for entertainment. We have 30 NSG for live shows. We have 30 and Still Gaming for video games, and now we have 30 and Still Jamming for music. The brand is amazing, Sarge. I literally asked the AI like names for the new channel, and it gave me stupid names, right? And I was like, "What about 30 and Still Jamming?" And the AI responded, "That's really good name for your branding. I would go with that." I went, "Okay." So that's what I did.
I'm a little fearful for you. You're going to be like the anti-Reese from Terminator series in a minute.
Look, I have to say, I am getting really good with AI. Me and AI are like two peas in a pod.
Pot. Yeah. That's what I'm afraid of.
What's going on, chat?
I'm afraid one day I'm going to start talking to you and you're going to be like, "It's all going to be fine, Sarge. Don't worry.
Everything's fine." Let me ask ChatGPT, is it going to be fine? It's going to be fine. I've been playing a lot of games, so why don't we get to that? And let's start with the what we've been playing. Let me see. I got there it is. Played a lot of different games, Sarge, in the 2 weeks that we've been off, right? I played, you played, we both played. I played, you played, we all played. It's this I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. We played Orcs, right? Must Die. Okay.
I thought it was a fun game. I thought it's a fun game.
I thought it was fun. Yeah, I thought it was a fun game. I've been playing a lot more of it. I beat 3 bosses. I was on the last boss. I
didn't even know there was bosses.
Yeah, I figured this all out after we played with me, you, and Mr. Luke. I played a little bit with my son. We were doing it wrong. We were backing out to the fortress every single time, right? And what you need to do when you're playing Orcs Must Die is you do your mission, and then it's like a press your luck type of thing. So it gives you an option, right? It tells you like you have 200 skulls that you got for that, but if you want to spend 143 to get this card unlock, it gives you an extra ability or whatever. Or you don't spend it at all, you go to the next level. Okay, if you go to the next level, then you go and you beat it. Then it goes from like 200 to like 400 or 700, right? And you just keep getting higher and higher for the skulls.
That makes sense because the skull things in the trees were really high.
Yes. Okay. So I just completed one. I got like 2,400 skulls after completing four missions in a row. Okay, and then what it also does is if you don't want to do it 4 in a row, I was playing by myself, so it says quick save, and you quick save, and once you quick save it. Next time you start it, you just load save, and then you start the next round of that run that you have to do. So it starts off with like a 2-run or a 3-run, and then there's a boss fight. Right now, this one was brutal. I did the 4 missions, and the 5th one was the boss fight. It's 1 round. Okay, so you got to get ready, and you gotta lay your traps down and do all the things that you have to do. Actually, let me see if I can get some footage for you guys. Let me go to the other channel. All right, we played on the other channel, right? Yeah, we did. That's 30 NSG. Man, my marketing is on spot on. Let's see here. Yeah, here it is. So I'll bring this up. It's muted, but we'll bring it up just so you can see what's going on here. So as I'm talking. All right, so this is Orcs Must Die, and this is early on. This is when me and you were playing and putting different things down. I don't have footage of the new stuff that I'm doing. But when you're playing with other people, you're splitting the total amount of barriers. When you're playing by yourself, I have 22 different barriers to use. Okay, so I'm like funneling everybody into certain sections. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. But the boss fight that I have, you have 1 round to get your shit like prepared and ready to go. Okay. If they break a barrier, floodgates open, the rift is gone, you lose. That's how it is, right? So I've upgraded my blade saws. Here, let me go later in this this match here. We're down the death area over here. Here, let me go here. Yeah. So there's saw blades. I have that basically almost leveled up all the way. right? They're doing the most damage possible, and they cost the least amount.
Yeah, those
Okay.
are lasers. Those are lasers.
I know, I understand it, but there's buzzsaws on the ground. I upgraded my turrets, right? My crossbow turrets, and then I've upgraded my gas landmines or whatever it is, like the acid.
That's clouds. Yeah.
Right. So between these three, I sit back and I don't have to kill or shoot anybody. Right now, this is the first day when me and you played, so I don't have any of this stuff that I'm talking about. Okay, because now I started to understand what's going on. Okay, I know how to feed them in. I know where to put the defense points. I know on the maps what the best spots to close off now. So it's a fun little game. It's definitely, if you don't like tower defense type of stuff, I totally get it. But once you understand,
this is active tower defense.
Yeah,
it's not like standard tower defense. It's
once you understand what the game is, and once you understand the leveling up, and once you understand that you're leveling up your traps, you're leveling up your character, you're leveling up and you're unlocking different traps, you get different cards. So when you unlock cards, Sarge, it goes into the pool of cards that in between rounds says, oh, you're rewarded this, right? And then you get to pick which one you want. So when you unlock another card, so on certain maps I'm playing, it'll say like the buzzsaw, it's at half price now. So now I have it where it costs me like 600 instead of 1,200. Okay, so now I'm just putting saws everywhere, right? Because they do 50 plus damage, right? 50% more damage and whatnot. I like it. I like using the character that I'm using. It's a neat game, and it's fun with more people, obviously. So this is one of the games I put a lot of time into so far. I got about 20 or 30 hours in this game already.
This is like it's like the board game equivalent of a beer and pretzel game.
Yeah. It's just a fun game to put in if you want to. We destroyed the guys down this corridor here. Like they weren't even getting through anymore. They're just getting melted. Right. The lasers are hitting them. The saws are hitting them. The gas is hitting them. Like, I'm not even doing anything. Look at the lasers. Like, the guys are coming down the walkway, and they're just, like, ×4, ×3, ×2, right? They're just getting melted. That's what you really want.
Well, you want the combos. What you want the combos. So you
want the combos.
You're trying to put the traps down in a way where you get the combo bonuses. That's how you escalate the skulls. That's how you get multiple skill. Yeah, and then you can do multipliers, and then they can drop more skulls and whatnot. Lasers go pew pew, Water. That's right. I feel like, yes, Water, that's correct. They go pew pew. Good job. So yeah, it's a fun game. So that's one of the games I've been playing. What one of the games that you've been playing, Sarge? I mean, obviously you can talk about what we played last night, or you have another game you've been playing. Well, the week that we didn't have the show, I played City Skylines. Because for some reason I was bored.
Skylines.
I was bored. I felt like playing a simulation game, and I heard that City Skylines has just as many DLCs as The Sims, which I thought was funny because the whole thing about City Skylines was they trumped over SimCity because SimCity did such a shitty job on their game that City Skylines came in, swooped in, and just took all their fucking people, right? So I looked up a bunch of stuff and I said, all right, let me try it. So as I go through the Steam library to pick it, it says I already have it, which didn't make sense because I never bought it. And I didn't know if that's because I have Game Pass Ultimate. Because Game Pass Ultimate. I
don't think it would have connected it to Steam. I could be wrong there.
But City Skylines is on my console, so I don't know if it allows it to happen. So because of that, I played it. I played it for like 2 days.
Here's Mo. Boot on next season in full effect. If you build it, it will come Game Pass.
He's got hashtags for everything. He's got hashtags. He's got hashtags for everything.
Mo, I worked on that song for you. I got 2 versions.
It's good, Mo. You're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like it. Wait. Before you play, is it at all? Right? Are you a country guy?
Right. Do you want more rock opera, or do you want?
Are you a country guy or no?
Do you want rap? What version would you like?
He's got a couple versions, and I was just curious. We didn't know which way to go with this one. We didn't know if you were country or not. We didn't think you were country, so
he could be country.
Right, he could be. But that's why we're asking. Like, do you like country?
I don't have a country one, but I could have a country one.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Everybody loves country, but
I don't know if everybody in Florida that's likes country. You just have to. So you were talking about City Skylines, Sarge.
So I played City Skylines.
Yep.
I played it maybe 2 days, 2 or 3 days. I had played some competitive matches with the Axis and Allies board game.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute, competitive matches. I thought you were still talking about City Skylines.
No.
I was like, what the hell's going on over there now?
No. That's how you would train people how to build real cities.
There's competitions in Farm Sim, so I didn't know if they changed City Skylines.
Yeah. Now I was gonna play the second one, City Skylines 2, but all the reviews say it still needs work. A lot of glitches, a lot of bugs. They rushed
I haven't downloaded. I haven't.
A lot of they rushed a lot of stuff. So with all the DLC on the first one, there's no reason. Besides that one, competitive matches with some X&Ls board game. I played, of course, Orcs Must Die. What was the other one I played? I'm spacing out. I from time to time I zone out. I play. I know you don't know which one I'm talking about, but I bring it up from time to time. It's called Kingdom Two Crowns. The little side.
I know what you're talking about. It's the
right?
side scroller, like pixel type of game.
Yeah. But there's another version that's out with like the Greek gods.
Okay.
The guys keep escalating. They keep doing better and better.
What is it? What is this called?
I'm trying to remember the name of it. Do Kingdom 2. Type in Kingdom 2 Crowns new DLC, and it should pop up. It's got the Greek gods or something. I don't remember exactly what it's called.
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
But when I zone out, I zone out. I like to have the stuff where I don't have to think about
Call of Olympus, that one?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the trailer.
So it seems very simple, and it builds you up, right? You this is how the game plays. Like, oh, I'm learning. Oh, this is cool. Oh, this is what this does. And then you get into it. You're like, oh, now I understand. And as soon as you think you know what's going on, right, it slaughters you, and then you have to start over from scratch. Right, and it did it to me like every time I've ever played it. So I'll play it.
This is the DLC of the Kingdoms.
Yeah, you'll play it. The original version was like medieval, right? Then they came out with the Japanese version. Then they came out with the Viking version.
Okay.
Right. And then they came out with this version.
So they basically have a hit on their hands, and they just keep printing it out.
Once again, a studio that just has a good game.
Yep.
There's a following for it, and they just do improvements. And what the graphics and things are here are improved over the last one, right?
Yep.
Right? Brain, I didn't even know you played it. I thought for sure I was be considered the old guy in the room. I love this game, right? When I'm zoning out and I just want to bring my brain to go, but like I said, what I like about this game is when you first start playing it, it's like it's hand holding. Oh, this is what you do. No big deal, right?
And then it throws you off the cliff.
Yeah. And by the way, there's no save and reload, right? You're in. That's it. Right, so you're led to believe you're doing well, and then as soon as you think you're doing well, the game stomps on your head, and then it just says you're done. So
when you're dead, you're dead. It's a hardcore.
You lost the game. You got to start over.
So it's to see how far you can make it through the game or whatever.
Yeah, but the premise of the game is like there'll be 5 or 6 islands, right? So each island's a little bit harder, right? The first couple islands are easy, like starter islands, and the other ones are harder. So,
can I just point out that this game is on every platform known to man?
Yeah.
Right? Switch, Windows,
everybody.
Xbox, PlayStation, Google, Android, and Apple. It's everywhere. You could play it on the phone.
If they can, I probably get it.
You can. It's on Apple and Google. Android.
I'll check it out. So. I'll give you the basics. Like you have to conquer all 6 islands, right?
Okay.
But here's the trick. The trick is once you start to learn how to play the game, if you defeat an island completely.
Oh, there it is. Sorry, I had the islands for you right
there. Right. When you complete an island when you win over the island completely, the other islands get stronger. So you have to be able to. You have to
strategically pick which one you want to do, what island you want to jump to next.
Right. You have to make sure, like you'll build a kingdom on one island, but you don't win it completely, and you'll go to a different island and then build that one up, and then go back. Because if you just try to do, I'm here and I win, and I here and I win, by the time you get to the 3rd island, you might not be able to build your empire strong enough before they just overwhelm you. It's
so okay. So I have a question.
It's money.
I know you haven't
money
played.
management. It's money management. It's strategy. It's a
So-
bunch of stuff.
Okay, so like if I pick this middle island here on this picture, okay, and is there benefits to each island, or like pros and cons to each island?
You can only start on island 1.
Correct.
But once you finish island 1,
Or you move on to the next. You get to choose the next island.
Not once you finish island 1. Once you're allowed, there's a boat somewhere on the island.
Okay.
If you fix the boat, you can leave early.
All right.
Right?
Regardless,
If you leave early, you get to pick which one you want to go to.
no, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, if I start off on this middle island and then I go over to this island over here on the left,
Yep.
okay, is there pros and cons to this island? Like, do you get bonuses on this island, and it's strategic to get this island first, or do you go down to the south of that island and do the other island first, and then move up to that island?
The game is escalated learning. When you pick an island, it'll show you what's on the island. It'll show you silhouettes.
Okay.
Right? It'll show you. It doesn't tell you what it is. It
Right.
shows you a silhouette.
Well,
right?
you would learn over time, or is it randomly generated every time?
You would have to learn what the silhouette means.
Okay,
Right?
I gotcha.
Once you understand what the silhouette means, when you pick an island and you look at the silhouettes, if that's something you're looking for to get, then that's the island you want to pick.
Gotcha.
Right? But every game is different. The items will switch between the islands.
But the silhouettes are the same. So if you know the silhouette, then you know what you're going to get.
Right. The silhouettes are the same, but they might be on a different island.
I gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other one was Darkest Dungeon. I was playing Darkest Dungeon.
I'll go back to Dark Dungeon. So you're playing a lot of smaller esque type of games. I guess not in scale, just like double A indie games and stuff like that.
Well, number one, I just want something basic, just so I know it works.
Mhm.
But I want to keep my brain busy. You know what I mean? Like when I'm playing a game, if I want to play like a ridiculous game, I don't care. Like just shoot them up and I'm running around. That's why I'm so excited about Doom, right? The new Doom game, right?
Mhm.
I haven't played a brainless run and gun in so long, and that looks fun as hell.
Now you didn't play. Have you played 2016, 2018 version of it?
Of which one?
Of Doom.
Of Doom. I didn't play the last one. I played the one prior to that one.
Water Bear says Baldur's Gate 3 is a double A game. That's right. And look, but you can't compare it to everything else. It's not fair. It's not fair to everybody else.
Is
Water.
Baldur's Gate 3 a double A game?
Yeah, they're not a AAA studio.
Who says who?
It's based on budget, based on the price of the game.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So let me understand this. So if your budget is double A, but you're doing triple A.
No,
work,
the AAA studio. No, it's a AAA studio, meaning they go for higher tier games, right? So like the minimum budget for that game is going to be higher.
okay.
That's what it is. They even said themselves. Even Lorien Studios says they're not a AAA studio.
You know what? That's fine. They probably didn't want to be looped in with a bunch of the monkeys that are in the AAA industry. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. Let them
I played Darkest
pick
Dungeon
with
a long time ago, back when I was on Twitch, like 2016.
Brain Darkest
17.
Dungeon gives me heart palpitations because when you build up characters and then they end up dying,
You lose them.
You lose them.
Yeah, you're
So
done.
you have to learn the pairings of characters to put together that give you the best chance of survival. That's part of the problem.
And then the last game that we played is Halo Infinite. Okay, now those of you that have been following us,
By the way, excuse me, I just want to let you know that I apologize for last night because I was on all
oh, you're good.
I was on all kinds of cold medicine, and I just wanted that boss dead.
Yeah, and they're
'Cause
done. Yeah,
Because
got you.
I fought her for 3 days and couldn't do it because all she kept doing was teleporting around, and it was pissing me off.
we played Halo the last couple of days or last couple streams over on 30 and Still Gaming, and I enjoyed it, Sarge. But I'll be honest, I wasn't loving it. Right? We waited 3 years to play co-op. We tried it last year, 2023. We played it one night and then we just never went back to it. I forget if we had some glitches or something that was happening and we waited for a patch or whatever. And then here we are, 2025. Came out in 2021, November of 2021 or something like that. So it's like 3 years, almost 4 years, 3.5 years later, we played the game. I like Halo. I loved Halo back in the day. Okay. Loved it back in the day. Here, I'll bring this up so we can, right? I loved it back in the day, but I just wasn't feeling. We were playing with Kuda Papa and we played with Kingard. Okay. And Kuda Papa's a big fan of it. Kingard's a big fan of it. Kingard was like going on a tour. Like he was the tour guide telling you all the backstories and lore and stuff like that. And I love it like that. But I just did not connect with this one. I did not connect with it. I like the open world stuff. I like the different features that you have in this game, but it just didn't stick with me. And I don't know if it's because of the game itself or because I waited so long to play it and I was so disappointed that this game didn't come out at the start with the stuff that we wanted it to have. What about you, Sarge?
The time for the game to be played is over, but I always wanted to play it when it came out. Right. And so I got to play it. I got to finish it. I got to experience the open world of it. It's dated now because of what's going on today. It's dated, right? So it doesn't have the same effect on me, the impact of playing the game anymore.
Like, I did like the open world in this game.
You have to remember the reason why Halo was such a beloved series is because it brought first-person shooter to the console done well. That was the whole reason. Right? Because otherwise, first-person shooters were always mouse and keyboard because that's how they were played, right? This was the first attempt that they actually put it on console, and it was a first-person shooter that actually worked well. That's it, right? Beloved by millions, waited in front of stores for thousands of hours.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody used to hang out for the Halo release. I remember doing it myself. It's lackluster because they allowed their IP to drop off a cliff and they didn't care.
Duplo says it's just sad, right?
So
and
now,
Krebsy says, in my opinion, Infinite lacks the soul of the old games. I agree.
Right.
I agree.
So now you have an entire studio called Halo, and the rest of us are supposed to be like all godsmacked about it. Like, I guess we'll see what you're gonna do.
Like I said, I didn't hate it, but it just felt like it was missing something. It just felt the story, by the way, right? By the end of the game, I was just like,
Red
okay.
War.
I was like, all right, like
it's yeah.
It's just very lackluster. And hopefully the Halo franchise moving forward, and we talked about it a little bit when we were playing last night, me and Kuda Papa, thinking about Unreal Engine 5, how they might reboot the series. I think a lot of people are thinking that way, that with the Unreal Engine 5, they might start back over. There might be some sort of multiverse type of thing where they reset the game from the beginning and you're playing it again, but now it's all on an Unreal Engine. And from a development standpoint, I get it. But from a consumer standpoint of if you played through all the Halos and you're like, it's like rebooting Star Wars. You know what I mean? It's like rebooting a fan favorite franchise just because it's ran its course and now we're rebooting it to do stuff. Now I don't know if they're rebooting it, but it is missing soul. Back in 2001, the grand scheme of this, when you're walking through these landscapes and stuff, you're like, this is so cool. Here we are in 2024, 2025. You walk through these and you're like, it's empty. It feels like there's nothing around at points in this game. You're running around open parts, nothing's going on.
Yeah, but you say that. See, but this is the difference. You say that now because of the games that you've played. When
Correct.
Halo was done exactly the same.
I know.
There were long spaces of emptiness in the sterile environments.
It's gotta rise up.
Yeah, but the way people looked at it was different. You understand this. The scope of Halo on a console as a first-person shooter, right? The way that it was played, everyone was in awe of it because of the way it was, because it was a goddamn console, okay?
Right.
But 20 years later, you still have the same environments with the same gaps between action, like it was like a movie. Like action part, lull part. Action part, lull part.
Sure.
Right? It's done the exact same way, but because it's done exactly the same way, people don't respond to it anymore because there's not enough going on.
Well, okay, so I just played through Indiana Jones, which is a completely different type of game than Halo, right? And Indiana Jones has moments like that. Indiana Jones has moments where you're solving puzzles, you're doing action type of things, and then there's nothing, right? But the nothing part is I can go pick this up or go sneak here or do this. Right? There's other things. Here it's like, okay, you're shooting these grunts. Okay, you're shooting this area, and then it's like nothing. And you're like, okay, nothing. At least in Destiny, inside of Destiny 1, Destiny 2, there was gas, but there's moments where things spawn, bosses came in, different things. And I get it. It does happen in the open world. The open world part of this game feels good. The boards that you go into the big buildings or the underground bunkers feel soulless. Yeah.
Scope is the same.
Yeah.
But the inner workings of it. Okay, like for instance, we're not that far off here from what Destiny could have done, right? Whereas if you're playing by yourself, right, you got guys that follow you around, so it's kind of cool.
This
right?
part I liked of the game.
You got Marines following you around, so like little battles go on, but like nothing falls from the sky to help you out. Like none of that stuff happens. It's very sterile. But once again, that's how it was. Just everything else around Halo has evolved, but Halo did not.
Yeah, Halo, pun intended, Halo evolved, hasn't evolved.
I mean, I don't. It's the nicest way you can see it. You could say it.
Here, let me be fair though. Let me be fair.
It's a good.
The other Halos didn't have the open world like this. Okay, so this is the evolution of what Halo was, but it feels like the main story type of stuff was just kind of a. It feels like because we do know this was sort of going to be a live service game, right? And it feels like the live service part got more love than the actual main story of this game,
because they're promising. Once again, this was right around the time where they were promising down the road for something that didn't happen now, right? You weren't ready to give us anything now. You just wanted to see let's just see how they react. Like, put your best foot forward, make the game, finish the game, and we'll go from there. But the way you play the game, it's like, well, it's open-ended. Like, because you didn't know whether or not you can continue the game or not. I don't know what you mean. Listen, when they removed, and I'll say it again, when they removed Halo off Xbox's box, I know they didn't care about the IP anymore.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when they said it's not going to make or break it. Yeah, it's not going to make or break it, and they took him off the box.
When you said to me that Halo would not make or break the franchise, and then you took it off the actual box. When you took it off the box, I knew then that you no longer cared. It was no longer something that you were behind anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Now, whether or not the upper management felt that the game couldn't evolve anymore, or just the studios were like, well, this is what you told us to do. This is what you wanted, but it wasn't. You didn't get the results that you wanted for telling them to make that game.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's a decent game. It's
good.
It would have been the best game at that time if they had been able to finish it correctly. But they weren't allowed.
It got delayed a year. It got delayed a year, and when it came out, it was still incomplete. And when we played it 3 years later, which is 4 years after it was supposed to come out.
4 years after that it was supposed to come out. Still not done right.
And can we say that while we were playing on stream, it glitched out multiple times where we would go in the mission and then it would reset us back at the mission, and things would be missing. We couldn't go through doors. We couldn't do
points.
Active
points inside the level.
Active points broke. Buggy. Couldn't complete the game. Game-breaking glitches where I have to take 30 more minutes of my time to go back and still go through the thing again. Got to back out. Not in the party. What's with the thing? It's like, why? Now, I'll take a couple points because we just break games, but there was moments
we do break games.
We do break games, but yeah, it was bad at moments. Kingard says the campaign was in most praised aspect at launch, not for being great, for being passable and better than the last two. Relevantly, really. That's sad, though, isn't it, Kingard?
Okay, but let's look at this. Just objectively, let's look at this.
It's like limping across the finish line.
Bungie had moved on, and they made Destiny. Okay, Halo Infinite was basically a little pocket-sized version of Destiny 1. You had open world
Yeah.
areas, and then
Yeah.
you had little areas to go in underneath. That's what it was supposed to be, right? They just couldn't do what Bungie did. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That's what it is. Halo Infinite was supposed to be basically a little pocket version of Destiny.
Yeah,
right?
they wanted to make it like Destiny, and then they changed it across the way. Yeah.
Right. That's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't hate my time playing it, but it didn't rekindle my love for what I loved Halo before Bungie walked away from it. You know what I mean? I just never liked the 343 ones. Absolutely sad. It's being happy for failing kid finally got a C+ on the math test. Yeah, it's like, oh, congratulations, you didn't fail. you just made it. Good for you. Yeah, you'll get them next time, Billy. Right? Like, it's like, what? It's just like, sad.
Think about all the things that you can do in games today, right? 3 years later, like I couldn't call down some Marines to help me, or I couldn't call a tank. You know what I mean? Like, I know you can go to the fob and you can call a vehicle, but like you're mentally incapacitated guys who follow you, they die instantaneously all the time anyway. But as Kingard pointed out, that if you take the time and you just keep pulling out rocket launchers and sniper rifles out of the fob and give them to your guys, you become an OP team. You just run around and destroy everything. But again, but that's a fun factor point, right? That's the whole point. It's the fun factor.
The best part about this game is the open world areas, in my opinion. I like that the grunts can come with you. Your Marines come with you. I like that you can go around and you unlock the tanks and the vehicles and the wasps and stuff like that. I like that stuff. I like that aspect of Halo Infinite. Don't like the campaign of
it. No one keeps track of all the little detail points. The detail points is just like some of the other games IPs where humanity's in trouble because the aliens are stronger than humanity, and so humanity has to come up with like a really badass weapon or really high-end trooper, aka the Spartan, in order to remain competitive in a war, right? Because if it was just normal Marines versus the alien menace, the Covenant, right, humanity would have lost, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so if you look at the storyline, now I'm not going to say I'm a Halo historian. I know a lot of people in chat are. So I'm going to just say, after playing years of it and reading some of the books, this is my take, right? If you have a race of people who are under attack by an alien race, and then you had to make a higher tiered military, the Spartan program, in order to remain competitive militarily, right? And then in the midst of you doing this project, the alien race then goes after specifically your Spartan program, just like they go after the Jedi in Star Wars to get rid of them all, because they know that if they keep them, they're going to lose, right? That's where you are. That's the battle you have, right? So that's why, to me, my favorite Halo game is Reach.
Yeah,
right?
Reach was
my
good.
My favorite Halo game is Reach because of the story that it tells you about.
I also like ODST.
How the downfall of the Spartans happens and how the downfall of humanity comes, because they went after the Spartans directly. They're like, we're going to get rid of them. They can't have them, right? And so the whole game you're playing as a Spartan, and watching other Spartans around you get eliminated as the game goes on until you're the only one.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the greatest ending for a game.
It was like the Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, it was the Empire Strikes Back ending, basically, right?
That is the greatest ending for a game ever, because we were all told, blah, 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 Spartans, blah, 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 Reach, blah, 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 Fall of Man. This is what happens. And so they made a game, and then they put you in the middle of that story. And I'm sure the people who read all the Halo books, when they played Reach, was like, well, I don't understand how this is going to end, right? Because if you knew the story and you're playing Reach, you're like, well, I don't understand. What are they going to do here?
You're
because
dead.
Right, if I'm playing a guy on Reach, then I'm dead, right? Because nobody survived. That's the whole storyline.
Do you remember when we played that?
Right. So for people who never played it before, they were surprised. But the people who knew the history and they're playing the game like this is gonna suck. What's gonna happen? Am I gonna die? And the answer is yeah.
Yeah, the first time we played, we were playing, and we weren't dying. We were holding them off.
Yeah.
And me and Sarge was like, when does this end?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. And then you have to die, and then you're like, oh. That was cool.
That is the best ending ever.
Spoiler, it's been out for a while. Yeah. Here's the thing. Would you play this game again?
If I wasn't on cold medicine?
No, would you play it again? Would you be like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to play through Halo Infinite again?
I would play through it if it was with people and we went for a completion. We go for all the stuff.
I would do that too, but to be like, I would go back and play Indiana Jones again. No doubt. I would go back and play that. Would I go back and play Halo Infinite again for the story or go through Legendary? I have no urge to do that whatsoever.
There are some games that a lot of people, I'm only speaking for myself, that even though they tell you it's a multiple playthrough, right? If I play through it, I don't usually go back. At least I don't go back right away. I'll give you an example. When I played Fallout 4, okay, and I was very meticulous the first time I played Fallout 4 because I loved being inside that universe. I loved exploring every fucking gum wrapper. Like I looked for everything. That's why I like post-apocalyptic shit. I played them all. Mad Max, Rage 2. Like I'm into all that shit, right? So when I played Fallout 4, I was very meticulous and I went through the game very meticulously. But once I finished it, I didn't go back to it for almost a year to play another playthrough.
Yeah.
Right? Because I lose the sense of urgency to see what's around the corner once you've been around all the corners, right? Because then you think, I've seen it. What am I really exploring? Like I've been there, right? So I have to forget about the game for a while, play a couple other things, and then I'll go back to it hoping that I have the same feeling of trying to look around the corner. Like that's how it is.
Yeah, I mean, again, I enjoyed my time playing with you and Akuta Papa and Kinger when we played, but I wouldn't go back. But would I recommend it though? If you're a Halo guy, if you never played Halo,
Rachel's lost his mind. What happened?
Did
Rachie walk in and someone said something to him? What happened?
He like kicked the door. He's like, right? He's like Halo Infinite split screen campaign. Hell yeah! What? There isn't split screen campaign? Fuck that! 343, and he's out. And he closed the door behind him. Boom. Yep.
Like a crazed drunken frat boy just stumbling in the room. What happened?
Yeah, he's upset. I don't get it. I don't blame him. You know what I mean? Like we didn't play for 3 years because it didn't have the co-op.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's the reason why I didn't play.
Yeah. And the longer it stayed,
what was the rule? We played all the Halos co-op.
Every single one.
We played them all co-op.
Yep. Every single one.
Why couldn't I play Halo Infinite co-op? Explain it to me.
Yeah. So, all right. Those are things we've been playing. Let us know in the comment section what you've been playing if you're watching this after the fact. Let's get to the top stories. All right. Top stories. I'm going to get the ones that we didn't talk about last week out first. Okay. You all right, Serge? You all right? Okay, so last week,
you know what the tail end of the flu when you just get full blown sweats.
Yeah,
that's what I just got.
Oh, nice.
I think I'm winning.
It could be menopause. I don't know.
I'm winning. I'm winning right now. I'm winning. That's
all right. So the first story I want to talk about, Sarge, which is Xbox. Now, those of you that followed me last week, we didn't have a show last week, but I talked about this on my show last week about Xbox clarifies World of Warcraft Game Pass rumors. Okay, those of you that don't know this story, leading up to this, I have 2 videos talking about how I thought Xbox was going to bring World of Warcraft to Game Pass PC first and then console.
They will.
11 months ago, past that, I've been talking about it, right? Last week, at some point, there was emails that went out. Okay, emails went out, and they showed. Oh wait, they don't have the picture here. Oh, there it is. Okay, where the picture came out, and it was this picture right here. Oh, you can't see that because all right. So it says Microsoft Xbox Game Pass, Xbox. So WoW coming to Game Pass, or is it just bait email? Okay, as also showing Plunderstorm available on console, and right here you can see the little. Console icon and computer. Now,
I recognize silhouettes.
Right.
I recognize that.
Right. So obviously, Krebs even brought it up. He's like, well, maybe it was a template they used and whatnot. Regardless if it was a mistake by accident, too early, something's going on here, because why in the world would you put an email out to people, put a console on a thing and go, oopsie, right? And they've done this before, right? Remember when they said that they weren't raising gold? And they're like, just kidding, that wasn't a mistake. And then later, like 6 months later, they
Raise gold.
They raised gold. Okay. They've done this in other things as well, because leaks happen. They're like, oh shit, maybe no one noticed. And everyone's like, oh, they noticed. Okay. And they're like, they apologize. They send an email out.
It's because of the past why everyone's got a magnifying glass every time they say anything now.
Right.
Why do you think we know?
So I still believe it's coming. It's going to happen.
Yes.
Right. I don't know if it's happening sooner rather than later, but it's going to happen.
I don't have
regardless.
to put money on the table. I know that eventually WoW will be on console.
100%. They've been doing controller support for 2.5 years. It's actually like 4 years, but they've been doing, when they knew they were buying Blizzard and Activision, okay, they started working on controller support. Why would you do that?
I don't know. Why would you do that?
Why would you do that, right? I've said that they could take it on Game Pass PC first. I talked about it a little bit this morning. Yeah. I think what they do is, even though they have Battle.net, okay, Microsoft, even though they're putting everything everywhere, okay, Battle.net is this thing that they're having, but it's separate, but yet it's theirs now. And people, people like Steam, right? People like Epic, people like Battle.net. They stay where they are, right? So would a lot of people be upset if you got rid of Battle.net? Probably, right? But at the same time, they have people paying for a monthly subscription model here for $15 a month. Okay, I've said that if they bring them over to PC, Game Pass for Ultimate, okay, on PC, they charge the exact same price that they're charging for World of Warcraft standalone. But now you give those people that have standalone World of Warcraft for $15 a month, now you give them Game Pass Ultimate on PC for the exact same price, right? And people are like, oh, well, I'm a World of Warcraft guy. I'm not going to pay the other things. But it's there, right? It's like, why not try it? You know what I mean? It gets them in the ecosystem, okay? Because right now they're out of the ecosystem, right? World of Warcraft is out of the ecosystem. Yeah, you're still giving money to Microsoft. They're still making money, but it's not on the ecosystem. So if they give Game Pass, then they're on the ecosystem. They're paying for the monthly subscription. They get World of Warcraft, okay? And then on top of that, you might get more people to come on, and it raises the price, not raises the price, but raises the numbers that that Game Pass wants to get, right? And that's a lot of people over at Battle.net that they could bring on over into Game Pass and merge them together, type of thing, right? So I don't know. That's what I think is going to happen. But for surely it's coming to console.
Let me add something to this, and maybe this is just a complete fluke, but I thought it was interesting. I got an email. It was from, I don't check my email often. I got from maybe it was like about a week ago. I got an email from Battle.net, and it said, you have not answered our emails, and since you didn't restore your Battle.net account, we've just closed you out. And I'm like, that seems strange, right?
Well, you've been dormant for so long, right? When's the last time you played World of Warcraft?
Understandable.
It's got to be like a decade.
Understandable. However, I think that the length of time that they waited before they said, "Hey, you need to go now," like I don't understand what my little name in a text file is doing, hurting their server, but apparently it's hurting them. So all of a sudden now, I'm being let go. Now I haven't played a Battle.net thing in quite a while.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious to know why now.
Well, they're probably doing an Elon Musk going through the line by line and getting rid of things that they
and you kind of dead weight. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's basically what they're doing.
If you're clearing stuff out, that means you're trying to do something else.
Yeah, and I think that, sure, was this a mistake that they put this on? 100% it was a mistake. But I do believe that both things can be correct at the same time. It was a mistake, but it's still coming. It just happened to come out earlier than it was supposed to, right? That's exactly what I think happened.
You've said this, and I've agreed with you, and I've said this. If the target numbers for Phil Spencer for Game Pass is 100 million by 2027 or 2030, whatever.
Yeah,
it
someone
is.
said 2027 the other day. Someone else said 2030.
In order to get that number to jump up quite a bit, you would have to have some kind of big number swing. And
Sure.
using Blizzard's ability for their games and an MMO would be a way to do that.
Yeah, moving them from Battle.net. Let's say there's 20 million accounts there.
And what are you hoping that Blizzard's going to do in the next couple years that's going to bring in a ton of money? Because they gave up on Overwatch, right? Nothing else is really popping out here. Everybody else keeps talking about games that Blizzard's going to do, but nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So in order for them to do that, it either has to be a remake of something, or it has to be something current that you can give to more people.
Right.
I'm following the logic and money. We paid this much money for you. We're looking to get this much money out of you, and we only have this much time. So you tell me how you get the numbers you want out of Blizzard without them making a game. Just tell me. I'll wait. Tell me what they're going to make in the next couple years that's going to pull in the money.
Right. Yeah, tell me why. Tell me sweet little lies. Yeah, you gotta let me know why or why not.
I mean, didn't you see the advertisement for WoW players are getting a house now? Aren't
Yeah,
you excited?
21 years after the game came out.
1 years
They
after
finally get
you're
in-game
gonna
housing.
You're gonna get a house. What the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
It's almost like if the house has got Blizzard people working in it, it's almost like the house is being moved to a different location, and while it was being moved, everybody just kind of fell out of the house. And then you right, and then you have this house called Blizzard, and then you just try to stuff whoever you could into it and make a game, and they just didn't do anything the last decade. What did they do?
Right. Well, they are having issues. I don't know if I have a story about. Do I have a story about Overwatch? I don't. I thought we did.
Rachel,
Well, the next
for the Fable game and 30s did this too. I loved going around and buying all the
landlord
buying all the properties of the town and then destroying them all.
Yeah.
Right. Getting them all cheap. Like make the town a complete thief fest, burning, raping, robbing.
Buy all them out.
Buy all the houses out
and then fix them up. Yep, that's exactly what I did.
I retired a billionaire. I'm good.
Krebsy says Blizzard's in a rough space. They haven't done shit in the last 10 years. Now Overwatch and Diablo both have big competitors that just released. Yeah.
I mean, did we not talk about this? If you sit on your ass and don't make a game,
no competition.
Somebody is going to find out what you did wrong and do a game like you did and do it better. Let's go through the list. SimCity.
Yeah, EA.
City Skylines.
Sat on it. Yeah.
Sat on it. They didn't give a shit. They made that fucking game where you had to be online only to play SimCity. They were like, come on, guys.
Then you had Roller Coaster Tycoon. They came out with Planet Coaster.
Right. Roller Coaster Tycoon sat on their ass too long. Planet Coaster.
Yep.
It happens every time. Every time.
Right. Now you have Overwatch sat on their ass.
Pokemon
Marvel Rivals comes in. Yeah.
Pokemon.
Right.
Nintendo
Pal World came out. Yeah.
Pal World came out. I mean, as soon as you can't sustain the game that you're trying to make and you don't make it the best you can,
competition's great. Yeah, competition's great. And this is why all of a sudden now Overwatch is starting to compete. They're trying to do stuff. Going to the next story, Sarge. We used to play Destiny all the time, right? And one of my things I used to talk about Destiny all the time, when it first started, Destiny 1, I was like, man, this game is so good. I was like, this would be a great game.
Yeah, I remember you getting me started with that shit. I remember.
Transformers. I
remember.
Marvels or Star Wars. Okay? I said Star Wars, if this was Destiny, but with a Star Wars theme.
Drug pusher is what you were.
Right? And then here you go. Are you saying I got you addicted to Destiny?
Yeah. You're like, you got to get it. You got to get it. You got to play.
I don't remember going down like that. Wait, that's not it. Where is the...
You got to play it. You got to check this out. You got to play it.
What is this one called? This is called the Orcs. Oh, here it is. Okay.
We played the demo. Remember played the demo? We played the demo for like 30 hours straight.
Oh, yeah. It was great. All right, so
how many
Destiny
times did we kill
had
the Scorpatron thing?
Thematic skins of Star Wars enter. Now, again, this is last week's news, guys, because we were off last week. So Destiny 2 brings in 3 skins here. They bring in the Dark Trooper, or the Death Trooper. They bring in the TIE Bomber, or not really TIE Bomber, but just a regular Stormtrooper, and then the Emperor's Guard, basically, right? These look badass, right? These look badass. But here's a problem, Sarge. Destiny's a first-person shooter.
That's correct. That's correct.
Right? So now I get to be Star Wars if I was playing Destiny, which I'm not, right? I get to buy the skin for $15, $20, right?
I guess hold the sword the entire time.
Right. Go third person, hold the sword. They missed an opportunity to make a lightsaber in the game because, like, why not, right? They probably couldn't get the licensing for the lightsaber in the game, right? But they have a little Death Star, right? You see in his hand, right? The Death Star, as the ghost.
As the ghost.
Yeah. You have your ship, which is a TIE bomber, right? You have your ship, but you don't have a lightsaber, right? I mean, and someone will be like, why don't they have a lightsaber? Well, they're not Jedi. Sure, cool. But they're also not in Star Wars, right? It doesn't really matter if they have a lightsaber or not because it's not in Star Wars. So it's not like... So my thing to this, though, Sarge, one, if we're still playing, would this make you excited if you were still playing Destiny because now Star Wars character skins were inside the game?
The answer is that if you made a game that was based in the Star Wars universe that played like Destiny, the answer would be yes.
Right.
But because this is the last gasp for life in a game that's run its course, it is announced 10 years. We agreed on 10 years. Most of you played it for 10 years. I did not. Right. And so it's time to move on. So whatever they have to do now to keep people in the, I mean, that's what it is. Trying to keep you in the game.
With this, obviously, it's a video game. You're supposed to have fun in the video game, but because of the lore of Destiny and what it was for the last 10 years,
you're mixing two universes together.
Does this make it better, or does this break the immersion for you? It breaks the immersion for me.
It breaks the immersion of Destiny if I'm a Destiny fan. Yeah. Plus the fact
says,
it's a first-person shooter.
Argus says they do have lightsabers in the new emote, and it does a little battle with another player. Oh, well, that's nice.
So think about this for a moment, right? Let's just say, for shits and giggles, you just got into Destiny a couple years ago. Like a couple years, you just started, right? Now you're in the tower, and you just see stormtroopers and Dark Knight skies everywhere. Meanwhile, you're being told this entire story about the back of the war and this what's going on, and they're just stormtrooper guys walking around like, what the fuck does that even mean? What?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Zavala's talking to a stormtrooper. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
all right, I'm living in the universe created by Bungie in this universe, and I got stormtroopers running around, Dark Knight guys. Yeah, okay. I mean, what are we talking about?
No, I know, Krebsy, but the whole point of this, he's saying they have D&D, Mass Effect, Ghostbusters skins, a game, etc. I get it. What I'm saying is, and I stand by this, just like I said with Call of Duty, right? I hate that Call of Duty has like Snoop Dogg and a sloth and a fox and a monkey, right? Like Fortnite makes sense, right? Because that's what that is, right? Call of Duty, I forget, did they go through some time portal where it's like a multiverse of stuff that's happening there? Because that's what they did in Fortnite, okay? Destiny has this whole plot point. I don't have time to tell you what I don't have time to tell you, okay? To now you got D&D characters, and you have Mass Effect characters, and you have Ghostbusters and Star Wars characters. And I'm like, it's a video game.
Last Grasp. That's what it's called. Last Grasp.
I get it. It's a video game. You're supposed to have fun, but some things make sense and some things don't make sense.
Put the breadcrumbs together, right? How do you keep people in your ecosystem, right? The TIE fighters sound cool. Right. How do you keep people in your ecosystem while you try to remake a game that you made 20 years ago? Right? Because they're all waiting for Marathon, right?
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that this game is going to be the next Team Fortress, right? That's what they think, right? We're all waiting to see, right? Because Bungie and the contract for what was Destiny 2 or Destiny, the 10-year contract is done. It's done. The game is done, right? Can you still play it? Yes. Is it fun? Yes. Is there a lot of DLC? Yes. Somebody said you get all the DLC for how much? $20?
Yeah, they're on sale for like $20 or something like that.
Every DLC for $20. I mean,
the last
if you were gonna play, if you were gonna play Destiny, like now would be the time. Here's $20. Let's have a run at it, right? But what else is Bungie doing? What? What's that? What?
Yeah. That.
Oh, nothing. Oh, what?
Yep.
Oh,
paying,
right.
paying their
Marathon.
bills. Marathon.
Right.
Yeah.
Marathon. Right. Still waiting. We're still waiting. So what this is to keep people in the ecosystem. That's what.
No, I get it. I get it. To me, it's just funny because I think this is cool. I do. I think this is cool. But to me, again, it's a video game. You're supposed to have fun. But why did I care that Cade 6 died now, or Ikora, or anybody else?
But you called it back. You called it back. He was going to come back, and he came back.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it was.
Honestly,
that was the hook.
I don't even know what's happening in Destiny. I'll be honest with you, because I stopped 4 years ago. I haven't even looked up the story on YouTube, like what happened in the game. I don't care. I'll be honest. Lights are expensive. Reset lights are expensive.
That's agreed. Right, I agreed to everything up until the point where I said, I know what they're doing now. You got me. Congratulations. Now I'm done.
He came back and he died again. Yeah, but is he dead? Is he dead? Is
he? I mean,
Can he come back? Is he going to go through the portal?
Do we not want to go into that? Because if they had killed other people, they would be dead. But Cade 6 is the construct put into that machine. I'm sure they got that on file somewhere. Right? So what do you mean he's dead? Right? Did you erase all the computer files everywhere he's ever been? Like, I don't think he's dead. Like, I mean, Zavala's actually dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
Right. Yeah. Or is he?
Right.
Who knows? No. Destiny 3. He might.
No. He's dead.
The actual.
Yes.
The actual actor's dead.
Yes, he's dead. Yeah. So that's it.
Well, I mean, they could revive him. Not the actor.
I'm sure. Copy the voice and put him on there. But I know he's dead.
Yeah. Like, if they were smart, they would honor him and keep him gone.
I'm so upset. I don't even know what they're gonna do with the next John Wick movie. He's not gonna be in it. He's dead.
Yeah. All right. Next story, Sarge, is on Dauntless. Okay, Dauntless went through. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. So Dauntless is a game that's like Monster Hunter. It's a Monster Hunter light per se. Okay, Dauntless has like a Hail Mary, right? This is from I believe Windows Central. Yeah, Windows Central. Dauntless Hail Mary. How the Awakening update, which is the last update that came out for this game, killed off Monster Hunter like Dauntless and maybe even Phoenix Labs. Okay, so Phoenix Labs, they basically have lost 50% of their whole staff with this game. This game did update like 3 years ago. Is fantastic. I put 250 hours into this game, Sarge. I liked it a little bit more than Monster Hunter. I love Monster Hunter World, by the way. Loved it. I put over hundreds of hours into Monster Hunter World. But when I stopped playing Monster Hunter World and went back, it was really hard to pick up again, right? Because it was just, it's more complex. Dauntless is this more casual Monster Hunter type of game. It's fun. It was Dauntless is the first battle pass I ever bought. Okay, when they put it in the system, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I was playing a lot of it. I was like, I'll buy the battle pass because I beat the battle pass and then I played for it. They added monsters and different game modes and all these weapons, and I did all this stuff. I earned everything, Sarge. And then they changed it with the last Awakening update, where they got bought out by Forte, which is a cryptocurrency Bitcoin owner. Okay, and they changed the business model of Dauntless, and basically they decided to make it where it's cosmetic, not cosmetic, but more things cosmetic, and they took the weapons away from me. So I personally had every single weapon basically created because I murdered all the monsters, got the parts and pieces that I needed, made those weapons. I have hundreds of hours into this game, and they came over and said, hey, we're going to take that away from you. We're going to take maps away from you. We're going to take a bunch of the stuff away from you. Oh, by the way, don't worry. We're taking it away from you, but we're going to convert your weapons that you had that took you hours, tens, hundreds of hours to get all these things, and we're going to convert it into 500 of this new currency, and you'll have enough money to get three weapons. And I'll be like, oh, thanks, right? They changed a whole bunch of systems inside the game, and it doesn't matter personally for me if it's good systems or not, because they fucked with my time, right? So I'm out. I'm never going back to Dauntless. Even if it survives, I'm good. Someone commented on one of my videos and said, I just started playing this game. It's actually really fun. I'm having a blast. And I said, that's fantastic that you're having a great time, but they shit on my time, and I'm not going to put in another 100 hours in something where, because if you did it once, who's to say you're going to do it again? This is why Destiny gave that test. Remember, you upgraded all your weapons, and then all of a sudden they resetted them because power creep, and then you could do it again and over again. And I was just like, no, respect my time. So this game is basically on death's door right now, okay? Because a company came in and changed out the whole business model of what it is, and I don't think they give a shit, right? So you're muted. You're muted.
It's really easy, right? Because you're a crypto company, you got a bunch of money to blow, you think you're going to make a quick dime. So you buy a game company, you say we're going to swap it out to do the MTX thing, right? We'll make a killing, right? And then we'll sell it off, right? But instead what happens is you change the entire game, you lose half the population, nobody wants to play your fucking game anymore because you're greedy. And then they go, no big deal, we'll just write it off as a loss. No big deal, right? So everybody who worked on the game is irrelevant. Everybody who put passion into the game is irrelevant because now you're just a product. We bought you. They're right, by the way. You bought them, right? You do what you want to do.
You want with it. Yeah.
They can do what they want with it. But when outside people, outside interests involve themselves in gaming, that is what you get. That's what you get. The people at the guy probably at the company just wanted out. And so he sold to whoever. Yeah. Right? Because he was probably done. He made the attempt. They made a decent game. Somebody offered him money for the game, and he said yes. Right? Then you got an outside influence, not gaming related, comes in, does what they want, and then flushes the game down the toilet.
I would rather have this game closed down than what they did to it. Right? Because they butchered it so much, I don't want to play it. I don't want to look at it. I understand what people feel betrayed because of they feel Xbox is screwing them over because the exclusives are going to other consoles and stuff, right? I understand how they feel because they're mad. That's how I am about this game. Me putting in almost 300 hours into this game and then just ripping it from me and being like, well, here you go. But like, I don't want to put that time back into your game because you screwed me over. Why should I reward you with my time when you didn't respect my time, my money, my grind? Nothing. They didn't give two shits.
They're irrelevant. Your time inside of a game, by the way, is irrelevant.
I know. Absolutely.
Is irrelevant to them.
And that's why I don't give them time anymore.
The only time that your time is relevant to them is when they're trying to sell a bad game and they'll say millions of hours played. Millions of hours played. And you're like, what do you mean millions of hours played? Like the game's been out for like a week.
Here's the thing though, right? People say support what you like, support what you like, support what you like, right? And I was buying the battle passes that if I put the time into the game, I was putting my time into the game, completing the battle pass, spending the money on the microtransactions in the game, and they still went, nope, sorry, right? So it's like, so I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. If I don't spend the money, they're going to close it down, and if I do spend the money, they're going to close it down. So then I'd rather not spend the money and go ahead and close it down. Do you know what I mean?
That is a classic example of an outside influencer purchasing a game company and trying to make it into something that it wasn't.
Right.
Speaking of, you guys should probably keep track. I mean, this is a good year. You guys are all vetted now. You guys have been playing games. The game got people in chat have been with you for a while. Every time a game company comes up, you should put their name on a list and see who owns them and where they're going. And as soon as the ownership changes, find out where that guy is. Find out who bought them, if they're an actual game company, if they're what they do for a living, and watch the game company to do this or this, right? Because to them, once again, I will say it for the 15th millionth time, the gaming industry became so large in terms of revenue that everybody and their mother wants to be involved on some level inside the industry because of the amount of money that can be made. When nobody gave a shit about games and it was only for nerds and it was only for people who had no friends and these losers are just playing video games in the corner, right? Nobody gave a shit about us, right?
Right.
But when we make more money in revenue than the NFL, music, and movies put together, then everybody wants a piece of it.
Yep.
So we're going to get everybody coming in here trying to do whatever.
Here's the next story, Sarge. Multiversus. It's officially shutting down. Okay. I also had a video that I made over a year ago. Okay. Talking about the multiverses when it comes out. This was back in 2021 going into 2022. It came out and then it shut down for a year and came back. Okay. I think it was 2022 and then it shut down and came back. So it was up for a year, 2022 to 2023, shut down from 2023 to 2024, came back last May, and now it's shutting down May of 2025. Okay. I said when this game first came out, I said this game lives or dies, okay, on the amount of people they bring into this game. Not the amount of customers, the amount of characters that they bring into this game, okay? The game was really well received when it first came out in 2022 to 2023, okay? The beta was actually really good. Then they shut it down after a year of opening it, okay? They shut it down, and they said, we'll bring it back in 1 year's time. They came back in May of 2024, and they completely changed, again, like Dauntless, right? They completely changed what it was. So they started locking characters behind a paywall, right? So they had Jason Voorhees in the very beginning. You couldn't pay for, or you couldn't earn him. You had to buy him, okay? Then they changed it, and they said, okay, well, you can start earning the characters. And they changed the landscape of it, but then it was so grindy. It was almost as grindy, if not as grindy, as when Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out, and you had to grind to get, like, Darth Vader and, like, Luke Skywalker back then, right? Where you had to pay, like, 80 days straight or some shit like that, right? It was ridiculous, okay? And they changed that before launch. So then they put a PvE mode, and they're like, oh, you could play all the characters as long as you're playing co-op, you know, like same screen, right? So you could do split screen and stuff like that. Well, they were slowly not bringing out enough characters. How WB fucks this up is beyond me, right? WB buys the company that makes this game. So now this game is owned by the people who own all the IPs that are in the game. Looney Tunes, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, DC, all these IPs, all of it. They don't have to like ask permission and be like, hey, can we use this? WB's like, yeah, go ahead, use it. Why not, right? No, they didn't have to go through and be like, what's the licensing? Can we afford this? No, WB just be like, go ahead and put it in the game, right? They put Looney Tunes in, but they didn't put all the Looney Tunes. Where's Elmer Fudd? Where's Porky Pig? Where's Daffy Duck? Where's all these other characters that were in Looney Tunes, okay? Didn't bring them. Where's Tweety Bird? Doesn't matter, okay? They brought Tom and Jerry, right? They completely missed the Animaniacs. Game of Thrones, they put one character from Game of Thrones. Where's Jon Snow, right? Where's Lannisters? Where's all the characters they could have brought into the thing?
They didn't want to pay an artist. They didn't want to pay to draw the characters.
Where's DC? Where's all the other characters? They brought Aquaman and Lola Rabbit in this last season, okay? Thank you. Great. Aquaman. Everyone's running to the fucking...
Because they have two artists. They only want to pay two artists. They want an MVP, bro. They want to hire as little as possible, and the best thing... Who's playing?
I compared this game to what Marvel's Avengers is doing right now, okay? Or sorry, not Marvel's Avengers. Marvel Rivals is doing right now, okay? When this game first came out, I said, put as many characters in the game. Where's Harry Potter? How did you not put Harry Potter into this game?
I don't know. Maybe
it makes no sense.
How about you do one of these? Let's take a peek. What's Rivals doing? Oh, they got characters coming out every 5 minutes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, every 6 weeks, free characters, free characters that you're not paying for. Okay, not behind a paywall.
But nobody's gonna buy a skin for Scooby-Doo, bro.
No grinding.
That's the downfall.
Right?
Scooby-Doo's
no
not can't sell skins for Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, where the fuck is the rest of the Scooby-Doo gang? Where's Scooby-Doo? Right? It's like it's so mind-boggling to me that these characters didn't come into the game, and they're like, "Well, it's just not happening. We just couldn't." You know, it's run by committee. Committee? Who's the committee? They should have been like, you should have put 65 characters in at the very start. Do you understand the difference between Marvel Rivals and what they're doing? If you put Scooby-Doo in and then have skins for Scooby-Doo or different things, people are like, man, I love using Scooby-Doo. I'm going to pay for skins. That's what's happening right now at Marvel Rivals. They're like, here's Invisible Woman. Here's Fantastic Four. Here's Johnny Storm. Here's Wolverine. Hey, here's some skins. They're like, man, I'm really using... I'm going to buy Captain America's skin because that's my main character. And now they're putting they're putting in the next skin for him from Infinity War, right? Like, duh. Like, I didn't pay anything for the game. I paid nothing for the game. I'm like, you know what? I already have 100 hours in the game. You know what? I'm going to throw them $20 for a skin because they were giving me a cool ass skin for my character. Warner Brothers is like, you think we could make money off of these characters that we're putting in, that we own all of these characters? Like, I don't know. Let's just shut it down. Let's just shut it down.
When are people going to realize that whoever's running the WB is aged out of reality?
They're idiots.
Like, the people who are running the company are not probably savvy enough to understand the youth market, or are too old and are using old business tactics to try to run the company. They're dying.
It's so frustrating.
The only reason why WB is breathing at all is because the Harry Potter series did so well. That's the only reason why they're still afloat. Otherwise, they'd be drowning.
The fact that they can make a game just like this, just like Smash Brothers, but just DC characters, just the DC universe alone could be a game on itself.
400 plus characters.
But instead, they said all the characters that WB owns, which is thousands of characters, are like, well, we just don't want to put too many in there because
you'd have to hire people. Yeah. You'd have to hire artists.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
They want to make money, but they don't want to put the effort in.
Yeah, that's exactly the right. Because they're the older group who, think about it this way. If you don't understand the youth market, if you don't understand what makes it tick and what makes these kids want to buy stuff, if you're one of the older guys in the crowd and somebody comes up to you and says, this is how we're going to make money with this, and you try to explain it to them, like, that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. Like, why would I want to hire a bunch of artists to make a bunch of cartoon characters and put them in a video game that we're not going to charge money for? Like, that's the answer you're getting, right? I don't want to hire 25 artists to draw a bunch of characters, right? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, the fuck are you talking about? You have the largest collection of IP on the planet. You're trying to copy a game that's already been out. Do it.
Right.
Release the characters.
And
release
here we are.
As many as you can.
Right. WB has the same problem as Hasbro. It's like, what are you doing? You have sitting on Transformers, sitting on G.I. Joe, sitting on these IPs, and they're like, I don't know what to do with it.
They don't. I'm telling you, they're out
up ass. Like, they don't know what they're doing.
The people in charge are out of touch. Either they have aged out or they have basically businessed out. They don't understand the market as it is. Right? The only reason why Overwatch worked was obvious. People loved the mystique about what it was, the hero shooter, the advertisement was good, the hype was good, and then they stopped caring. For some reason, they stopped caring. And then once again, like we said, in the background, somebody else is going to be making a game like this, and they're going to come out with it. Multiverse came out first. Where was the backing afterwards?
Right. They took it away for a year. Right. They took it away for a year and then came back shittier.
You waited till Rivals came out and then started asking questions, and then like, well, Rivals is out. We have to shut down. Like, what?
You know, I don't understand.
What?
Hogwarts Legacy was the #1 selling game in 2023, right? 25 million units sold. Okay, #1 selling game of the year. WB saw it, right?
They had nothing to do with the They had nothing to do with
understand
the victory.
But they own the Harry Potter franchise. They have this multiverse game.
They accidentally won.
They didn't put Hermione, Harry Potter, and Ron in the game. Like, here's what I said it earlier. I don't understand. It's not like it's EA asking Disney or Marvel to be like, hey, can we put this character of Ahsoka in the game? And Disney goes, nah, we don't want her in the game, and there's licensing issues and whatnot.
These are your
WB
own
owns the studio, owns the license. All they had to do was go, yeah, go ahead. We have a cross promotion coming out. They could have put Aquaman in this game, okay, when the movie came out a year and a half ago, right? Yep. They could have put Flash in the game when the Flash movie came out. They could have put all of these characters in the actual game, cross promoting all the movies that are coming out and all these things. Nope. No, it's too hard. It's too hard.
I'm telling you, the guys in charge don't understand it. They just don't, right? WB has taken such a beating in this gaming market that they're afraid to spend any money. They're doing line by item, money in, money out. That's what they're doing. Money in, money out. And because they took a beating over the last few years in the gaming market, they're afraid to spend any money.
Yeah.
Right? The old guys in charge, like, I don't want you spending any more money here. We have flushed hundreds of millions of dollars down the toilet. Meanwhile, The golden carrot is sitting in front of them, right? Unlimited IP for characters you can play.
Yeah.
And you guys don't want to spend a fucking dime to get them.
No, we'd rather start over fresh from a brand new game and see if it works.
Okay, buddy. All you.
We'd rather do minimal viable product for a different thing later down the line.
All you.
All right, so the next two stories kind of together, right? So Take-Two reconfirms that Grand Theft Auto 6 will release this fall, okay? There's a rumor that September is the deadline because a European, I think it was an Italian store, listed it as like September 17th, I believe, or something along the lines of that, okay? And the reason I bring this up, Sarge, is because this week, Battlefront on Monday, I'm sorry, Battlefield, not Battlefront, Battlefield, okay, DICE, came out and showed a fluff piece about the next Battlefield, and it was a promotional material to advertise for Battlefield Labs, which is basically a nice way of saying, hey, instead of pre-ordering and testing it out for us, we're going to let you sign up for free and test it for us, and we're going to get your feedback for what it is, okay? So, go ahead.
But all that tells me, especially when you say to me you have 4 studios working on this, right?
4.
If you have
4 studios.
If you have 4 studios working on a Battlefield game, and you want the actual players to sign up to test the game for you, you don't know what you want to do.
Right.
You are afraid to choose any direction because you need to know what the kids are going to like at all before you spend any money.
Well,
because the last 3 failures, they don't know what they did wrong, right? The last 3 times that they failed, they're still asking the questions. Well, we don't understand why they didn't buy it.
Well,
you didn't know why they didn't want to buy it.
Well, here's what I'm confused about, right? Because they want to. Where's this one? This is.
Are we being serious? Like they don't know, right? What was that guy? The guy who said that we don't know what gamers want, right? That song you have, right?
Yeah, Tim Kaine, yeah.
You don't know what they want? Are you being serious?
So, I read an article last week.
Classic maps means Metro.
Well, I read an article last week. I can't find it right now, but they said that Battlefield, we're going to the fans and we're figuring out what you guys want, right?
You guys
we want a Battlefield. Listen to me closely, DICE. We want Battlefield, right? They went out. There's already rumors that there's a battle royale inside the game. Okay, there's rumors that there's a war zone in the game.
Sure.
There's rumors that here you go, Battlefield Portal is returning to the next Battlefield with classic maps. Okay, hello, Portal is the game. Portal is the game. It's Battlefield Multiverse. Okay, it's every Battlefield that you want to pick and play and choose what to do. That could be what Battlefield is. Instead, they're like, no.
Nope.
So they're going back to making a campaign. They're bringing in people that played battle royales, flew them in there, gave them testing grounds, and went, tell us how this battle royale, if it's good or not, right? Missing the point. Battlefield is not a battle royale game. Brought in other people that played Warzone and went, what do you like about this? Is this just as good as... Are you going to stop playing Warzone to come play Warzone over here?
Right.
Missing the point, because that's not Battlefield.
That's correct. That's correct.
Right. Then, thank God, they're thinking about putting a campaign. They are putting a campaign back in. Great. Putting a campaign back in. Fantastic. Okay. But you're going back to this. So now what I'm hearing in my head is, okay, so they have full-fledged 4 studios working on a campaign. 1 studio is probably working on Battle Royale. 1 studio is working on Warzone. 1 studio is working on the rest of the Battlefield, trying to figure out and they're like, what do gamers want? What do gamers want? Battlefield.
Right.
They want Battlefield.
If you are trying to copy every other game into one game and then still ask the question, we don't know what gamers want, you have no idea what your identity is anymore. You have no idea what Battlefield is. A large map, large scale conflict with whatever time period you want, most likely modern, right? With team-based shooting, with actual classes that have to work together in order for them to succeed in the mission.
Right.
That's it. With some and with vehicles. That's it. If you keep asking the question, we need a battle royale. We need to put Warzone in here. Right? Do I want to fight against Snoop Dogg? against Cardi B in a fucking Battlefield game. Like that's what they think about. Like they're thinking about everything else except Battlefield. Why? Because the Battlefield numbers were never as good as COD, and they want to keep encroaching onto COD territory.
Right.
Who is going to stop playing COD to play Battlefield?
They're almost not the same audience. They're not the same audience. I brought this analogy up. It's like Madden trying to try to grab the people that play soccer, right? The people that like American football buy Madden every year. The people that buy FIFA or FC, whatever now, okay, they buy that every year because they love soccer. Is there a cross? Sure. There's people that play the soccer game and they play the Madden game, okay?
Because they want to play a different version of the type of game.
Correct, okay? But the majority of people are buying soccer because they want to play soccer. They don't want football inside their soccer game, right? Imagine FC Soccer comes out and says, well, we put American football inside of the FC 25, so you don't have to leave, right? Are you going to leave Madden to come over here to play this football inside this game? It's like, well, no, I want to play soccer in this game, right? So they start dividing the player base, right?
That's why there's 4 studios. Because they have one studio working on each faction
thing
of the game.
Yeah,
that's why.
Instead of all working together on one thing to make it the best game, they're working on half-ass projects to
25% each for
Battle
a
Royale
game.
They're going to drop it within the first 6 months, right? Warzone, they're going to drop it in the first 8 months, okay? It's going to come back with, oh, we heard you. We're reworking those maps. We put stuff on the maps, okay?
We listened.
I give shit to this company because I love Battlefield. Battlefield is my number 1 game that I've put the most hours into across Battlefield 1942, 1943, Vietnam, Bad Company 2. The only game I never played was Hardline.
Not a Battlefield game.
What's that?
It's
not a Battlefield game. You're exactly right. Okay. People had fun with it. It's not a Battlefield game. Battlefield is what Battlefield is. I never wanted Battlefield to be Call of Duty because if I wanted Call of Duty, I'd go play fucking Call of Duty. Right? And this is the major problem they have. They're bringing the people into the game that, how are you? You're from Warzone, from Call of Duty. Would you come over and play this game? Oh, yeah, man, I would love to play that game. That person you're interviewing right there is going to leave your game just as fast as they left that game to go to the next game, to go to the next game, to go to the next game. Me, you, we will play Battlefield until we're old and dead. Because if it's a good game, we're going to play it. It's exactly what we did for every single version before.
We used to play Battlefield up until the next Battlefield game came out.
That's right.
Like that's what.
That's right. When they only sold 2,000 units, or 2 million units, I was in that group. When they sold 4 million units, I was in that group. When they sold 6 million units, I was in that group. When they sold 12 million units and 14 million units for Battlefield 3 and 4,
and that was the peak.
I was in that group.
And then they started crying because they couldn't understand why I couldn't get to 30 million like COD. You're not COD.
Yeah.
Right? You're not COD. Right? You're RC Cola. You're not Coca-Cola. Right? Understand your market. That's as many people as you get. Make the game better from there. Instead, they're like, no, I don't want to be COD.
All they have to do.
Go for it.
All they have to do is just make a Battle Royale standalone game to compete with Battle Royales. Don't put Battle Royale. Don't put Warzone. Don't put all these. Just give me. I love Operations from Battlefield 1. Operations are fantastic. Put Operations. Put Rush. Right? You were splitting the player base up with those game modes. Now you're putting other games into the game. Right? And it's going to be disastrous. Right? Now, obviously, I'm looking at Twitter. I'm looking at all these people. And they're very excited. They're like, oh, yeah, man. Battlefield's back. Nostalgia. Let me. Yeah. Did you see that? We got jets. Right? Jingle the keys. Show me what's exciting about Battlefield. Right? That's exactly what they're doing right now. And it's very... Look, I like the fact that they're testing the game out. And maybe it won't be broke, buggy, and unfinished when it comes out. But at the same time, 4 studios working on 4 different game modes across the thing. It's still going to be a half-ass game. It's still going to be broken, buggy when it comes out on day 1 and fixed over the next 8 to 12 months.
Think about it. One studio can't make a game release on time. Right? It has to be 6 months, 8 months, a year down the road before it's finished. Now you have 4 studios working on a game, each doing their own thing. We're assuming. Right? Because if they were all working on the same thing, the shit would be done. Right? They're each working on their own aspect of the game.
Yep.
Right. I mean, do you really believe that that's going to make it any better? I don't. If you believe that putting more people in the kitchen is going to make the souffle taste better, I guess you can believe that.
If you were in a bigger kitchen, but they're in a galley kitchen, and they're all trying to get around each other, and they can't get around each other because one person's blocking their way.
Yeah.
The stupidity of, well, we got to make a battle royale. Oh, good luck to you.
And before we open the restaurant, can we just have a line of people come in and keep tasting everything we make? Hey, how about this? You like that?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Is that okay? Did I do good? Is that okay? How about that? Is that okay? If that's how you're living your life, how to make a video game, you're not making a game anymore, right? I'm sorry. If you need approval every step of the way, then you have no identity at all. None.
I want to look at real fast because I don't know. Let me look up Steam charts for a second.
Somebody needs to come over and just tell EA, we want to buy Battlefield from you. How much you want for it? And have another company completely take the name and go do something with it, because they don't know. It's obvious. The last-ditch effort for them was putting 4 studios together, just like they did the 4 studios for COD. And since that worked, they think that putting 4 studios together for Battlefield has to work.
Well, you know what that means now, Sarge. 4 studios means really bloated budget.
Quadruple A, bro.
Right. Really bloated budget.
Quadruple A.
Which means instead of making a game and where they had to sell 5 million copies and be successful, now they have to sell 15 million copies. And when they only sell 10, which is still almost the most they've ever sold for any Battlefield game.
Fired
and under-delivered. Didn't make our expectations, right?
Yep.
That's exactly what will happen.
Yep.
I can see the articles now.
It'll be this time next year, EA Studios, let go.
Well, that'll be a little later because it might not even be out by this time next year. Okay. Which is one of the reasons that says EA confirms that next Battlefield title will launch before April 2026, which is the next story I want to talk about because of Grand Theft Auto, Sarge. Okay. Because of Grand Theft Auto, this one is that's the Switch prize. That's the wrong one.
It's almost like a boat is sinking with like 15 holes in it, right? And they're trying to patch everything at the same time, and nobody knows what anybody else is doing. It's not possible, man. It's not possible.
My question to you, Sarge, is Grand Theft Auto is coming out sometime this fall. 2K has confirmed that Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out.
Well, that means Krebsy's in the window. That means Krebsy's in the window.
He said October something. The leak said September something, right? Yep. So September, October, it's coming out. Okay. COD comes out in October. We know that for a fact.
If Krebsy's right on the date, he gets a song.
Okay. He might get a song before that.
Sweet.
Okay. If they make COD comes out in October, Grand Theft Auto comes out in September, do you think that Battlefield comes out this year, 2025 fiscal year, or do you think it gets pushed back into early next year, which would be this time next year around February? Do you think it's coming out in 2026?
Okay.
I'll let you talk first, and then I'll give you what I think.
Well, we discussed this a little bit off camera, a little bit. So I agree with a little bit of what you said. And I'm trying to put both halves together. So if they really want to launch near GTA 6, then the game better be done.
It's got to be done.
Right? If they're going to release near GTA 6, the game's
got to be done.
It's got to be done.
Not
done in a year.
Yeah.
Done in 3 months.
Yes.
Like done. Right? If it can't be done, like we're done with the game, it's ready to go this year, then you should definitely wait until February or next year sometime.
Yeah, February. It would be right? February next year, probably.
But if the mindset, because this is how the corporate guys think, like, and this is part of what you said, the way the corporate guys think is, well, we have 4 studios working on the game. We need to encapsulate as much money as possible. The most money we're going to get is during holiday shopping. So no matter what the game's standards are, we're going to release it before Christmas because we want the holiday money, even though it's not done.
Crave.
Right? And so people will buy it regardless, and we'll fix it down the road.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think the game has a prayer of being ready by the fall with 4 studios. One studio can't get their shit together. You think 4 studios are going to get all their shit together? Like, be serious.
Well, the 10 seconds of footage we saw of Battlefield the next Battlefield. It looked fantastic for the 10 seconds. Okay. If Grand Theft Auto comes out in September, I believe they launch it in November. Because COD's coming out in October. There's no doubt about that. It's coming out in October. Regardless, if Grand Theft Auto comes out the same month.
It's like releasing Titanfall, right? It's the same kind of bullshit they do with
between
Titanfall. Why do you want people to buy your game or not? GTA 6 comes out, COD comes out, right? And you want to just jam yourself in there somewhere.
So this is if the game is done, if it works, and it's Battlefield. It feels like Battlefield. Okay, not the main Battlefield. It doesn't feel like Battlefield because the Battle Royale is better than what the Battlefield is, or Warzone's better than that, or whatever it is, okay? If Battlefield comes out and it's Battlefield, and it's good, and it works, and it's not like, and it has a scoreboard, it has all the stuff that Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 3 or 4 had, comes out in November, it sells good because people will be like, yeah, it's good. Because if it make a game, sell a game. If the game is good, people will buy it and be like, we're back to normal. We're back, baby. Okay. But if Grand Theft Auto comes out in September, COD comes out in October, and then this comes out in November and it's 2042, done. 4 studios will be down to 1 studio. 3 studios will be closed. Right, EA will be ripping apart studios left and right if this game does not succeed. So I think it does come out this year.
I don't know, man.
8 months later, it'll be finished in 2026.
I don't know how many layoffs you have to have before they restructure how they decide how to make a game. Right? We're talking about management at this point.
Management's always been the problem.
We're not talking about developers at all. We're talking about management.
No, management's always been the ones that try to get these developers to get them push out the door. Battlefield 2042 management sucked balls. Okay, hence why they let maps come out and then fix the same 8 maps over the next 12 months because they didn't put enough cover on the thing. Right? Oh, and by the way, 98% of the people that are working on Battlefield have never made a Battlefield game before.
That sounds like good news to me. Right?
It's like 90%, 98%, something like that.
They never played. They never played a Battlefield game.
They never made a Battlefield.
Well, but have they played one?
I have no idea.
Did they actually get out of their chair?
They probably played COD
go put a disc in a machine that has a game on it. I know it's hard because everything's digital now. Touch a disc, play the game, and see how it plays.
You would hope so. All right, let's see. That's the Battlefield story. We got quick news, Sarge. It's like a speed bump. Ready? Dragon Age Veilguard came out. Dragon Age Veilguard didn't sell, and Dragon Age Veilguard, every writer on the staff got fired. So there's that story. That's done. Let's see. Electronic Arts.
I think right now would be perfect to play the old commercial where the American Indian has the tear coming down his eye because we're polluting the planet. You remember that one?
Yeah.
I think we can find that one. I think that's what we should do for that.
Battlefield. Okay, so that we'll end that story later. So Switch 2. Okay, Switch 2 price will consider to be affordably consumer expect of Nintendo, says the president. So they're saying that the Switch 2 will be affordable, right? The affordability of the Switch 2 will be to the consumers, right? So I said
people are broke. You know that, right?
No, I understand. I said that it would be 300 to 350 is what I said it would come out.
What with inflationary costs?
A lot of people think it'll be 400 or higher, right? I think it'll be 300 to 350, which I think then the Switch 1 will sell more because they'll lower that price.
$349.99.
Yeah, it'll be $349. It'll be $350 with tax or whatever. It'll be like $370, but it'll be marketed as $349 maxed. I think it comes out at $300, $349. I think Nintendo will take the loss, okay, for that console if it costs them more, just because they're getting more third-party games on there, and it's backwards compatibility, so a lot of people will pick it up because they have a Switch. I mean, there's 150 million people that have a Switch 1, okay? So a lot of people that don't have a Switch, those people are going to buy one, and then the people that have a Switch 1 are going to go buy one or trade it in or whatnot. So I think they'll price it at that 300, 350 because crazy Uncle Nintendo, they don't do what everybody else does, right? They go zig, they go zag. We have a song about it. Go check it out on 30 and Still Jamming. Okay, it's called Crazy Uncle Nintendo. Okay, they do the complete opposite, right? PlayStation's making $800 box. Xbox is going to cloud. And Nintendo's like, here's a $300 system. Here it is. And if you're like, right, handheld system. Lots more handhelds are coming into the market after this. Okay, they were the first ones to come in with this type of handheld. Now you have ROG, you have Steam Deck. There's rumors that PlayStation's making a handheld. There's rumors that Xbox is making everyone's making a handheld, right? Everyone's coming out with stuff. So
I'm still confused about Microsoft's play into wanting to make another handheld. Like, I understand the market's there because people like convenience, but with all the other handhelds that are already out, like the Steam Deck and the Switch, like, I don't understand where they think they're going to fit in for that market. I don't get it.
Right. I mean, they have I don't know how they work. Nintendo just, again, they're just that crazy guy that comes to your house on the holidays, right? You could be crazy Uncle Nintendo, right? You're an uncle. You're crazy. You could be crazy Uncle Nintendo. You just do whatever you want, right? You get away with it. That's what Nintendo does. They're just like, yeah, you guys are eating turkey? Here, I brought this. They brought Chinese food. Right? Everyone's like, what the hell's going on? Get out of here, crazy Uncle Nintendo, right? They do whatever they want. They bring in the Switch, and they're like, all right, the Switch 2 is not as powerful as the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series S or X.
Don't care.
Right, don't care. Here it is. We're putting third-party games on there now. Oh, by the way, we made it this much bigger, right? It's like there's no major change. Like, it's the same thing, just 2% bigger, right? It went from here to this, and that's it. And you're like, all right, cool.
Win. It's a win.
Right? You can almost play all your games, but we said no. Still the same thing. Right? They survived the Wii U, right? Let's just put it that way. They had the Wii, 100 million units sold. They came out the Wii U, 13 million sold, and they survived that thing and made the Switch come out. Any other company did that? Because they'd be bankrupt and dead.
You roll with the punch, man. Everybody makes mistakes, man. Everybody makes mistakes. The question is whether you can recover from the mistake, right?
Argus says he thinks the Switch 1 still is OLED is still 350. Switch will almost definitely be at least 400. I say they do what iPhones do. They'll take this price of 350, they'll lower it to 300, and then they bring in the high end or whatever it is. I'm sticking with it. 349 for the brand new Switch when it comes out, when they announce it in April. I don't think they go over 400. I don't think they do it. Now, a couple months down the line, they want to come out with a higher end version of the next Switch 2. Sure, they can go 400, but this right now is very important. If they want to get a hold of that market and get more people to get a Switch, in my opinion, they stick with the 300, 350 mark, and that's how they do it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Mario survives every mistake. Yeah. So the other story I want to talk about, Sarge, is Disney's $1 billion Star Wars Hotel. Okay, is
Helltale is good.
Yeah, Hotel. Yeah, I had a stroke there for a second. Disney's $1 billion Star Wars Hotel to be converted to offices for the future of Walt Disney World projects. Can you imagine spending $1 billion on a non-Star Wars hotel? Closes within 14 months of opening. Okay. And now they convert this building into office space.
All you had to do was make it original trilogy.
That's all you had to do.
All you had to do.
Just make Star Wars.
That's all you had to do. Instead, your ridiculous leader, KKK, okay, she couldn't move. You can't move her from her belief system. It has to be this. It has to be this. Okay, fine. Swallow the pill now. Swallow the pill.
It's so ridiculous. We've gone over a couple stories tonight, right? Where Battlefield is trying to make non-Battlefield. Okay, we got WB Multiverse doesn't know what to do with their. All you had to do is just make more characters to come in. Disney, all they had to do was Star Wars, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do Star Wars. They're like, no, we have a better idea. We're gonna make non-Star Wars Star Wars.
We have a better Star Wars than
we have a better Star Wars than what Star Wars got for the last 40 years.
Apparently you don't.
Apparently you don't.
So ridiculous. When I tell you this building it's a gigantic building. Okay, we drive by it all the time when we're leaving Disney World.
Remember,
okay?
remember, it doesn't have windows, bro. They had
No windows. Well, that's fine. I used to work at Universal Studios inside the building, the sound stages. They don't have windows either, right? And I would be there all day. So I'm okay with the people take it blown out of proportion. If you work in that industry, you just kind of. But this is office buildings, right? I wonder if they keep this. I wonder if they keep the television sets in there so that it looks like they can look outside and just fake windows, like you were looking out the space, but now you're looking out at who knows. I just think you got to look at this and go,
knowing Disney, ready? Knowing Disney, instead of just removing the screen and putting a window there, they put a camera outside that shows you what's out there.
Yeah,
it projects that on the screen.
It projects it out.
because that's the better way of doing it.
Exactly. Well,
right?
They spent $1 billion on this to make it into Star Wars. I just that's baffling to me, right? Talk about.
Do you know what's even more baffling?
What's
right?
that?
Is that Disney wants to get rid of Tom Sawyer Island.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so that means the riverboat's going to go away.
Yep.
They're going to fill in the water, and they're going to build like the cars. I think it was the cars thing that they want to do over
car
there.
land. Yeah,
the car land. Except since Disney fucked up their Reedy Creek thing with DeSantis, right? They need permits from Florida now. They can't do it themselves.
They can't touch it because it's
right. And guess what the Florida said for the building permits? They're like, no, sorry, you can't do it.
Yeah, they had a file in for a certain time and they missed it.
Yep.
So now they're delayed, and they have to do an environmental test because it was a man-made lake.
Yep.
But now over all these years,
garbage,
animals
stuff,
and insects and all that stuff moved in, right? So now they have to do an environmental test. Now they're set to the same standards as Universal and SeaWorld and Busch Gardens. Everything in the state has to go through the exact same thing, but Disney didn't have to do that. Disney could have built whatever they wanted at any time. They had their own hospital, Florida department, nuclear, like they have their own power plant, not nuclear, but they have their own power plant. They had everything. They were their own government, basically. They're like, hey, you want to build this? They're like, yeah, go ahead and build it. And they didn't have to follow code or anything. They built it there. Not that they built a half-assed thing or anything like that.
No.
They just didn't have to follow the permits and stuff like that. They could just do what they did. Now they can't do any of that, right? So now they have a building, and this is exactly why they turned the building into office spaces, because they were thinking about it, and they're like, well, what can we turn it into? Well, they probably went through a lot of different things, right? But it doesn't matter what they decide, because they have to ask permission of what they wanted to turn it into, because there was things that they were turning into like some Marvel experience. They were going to talk about doing some event there, like making it like a medieval times type of thing, where it would be like shows that you go there at certain times to go there. And now they're like, well, what's the cheapest thing to do? Well, let's just put a couple desks in there and then we'll make it an office building, right? Like, this is why they did what they have to do, because they opened their mouth, said stupid things, and now they're being beholden to what everyone else has to be holded on to. And I'll tell you what, they're going to have problems. It's the biggest moneymaker right now is the parks. Well, time's a ticking, because come May 12th or May 15th this year,
Universal's open, baby.
Universal Epic Universe is opening up, and that's going to just going to suck. It's almost like Grand Theft Auto, right? You don't want to be anywhere near Universal when that opens up, because it's going to have a massive amount of people. Disney World's going to be dead because everyone's going to be trying to go to Universal at that time frame for at least the next 8 to 15 months. Because when Harry Potter first opened up in Islands of Adventure, forget about it. It was 2 years you couldn't go to that park. It was just packed.
It wasn't even a park. It was just a section of a park.
Right.
It wasn't even a park. It was just a
section of the park. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Like you would pay to get into Universal, and then immediately after paying to get in, you would wait in a line to get into Harry Potter World.
Yeah.
All day.
Yep.
You would wait all day to get into Harry Potter World. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, it's imagine just companies that have no idea what they're doing with what they have. They had the world. They could have done anything they wanted with no problem. They're like, we really stand behind these people. They don't.
No, they don't. Ask China and Japan if they stand behind them. Ask them.
Nope, they don't.
FAFO. Have a nice day.
I mean, I would have done. All you had to do was keep Star Wars building, and like you said in the very beginning, just convert it to normal Star Wars.
That's it. That's all you had to do.
All you had to do. That's all you had to do.
That's it.
Nope. That's all they have to do for the land. It's
her belief system is so strong that you can't go against her. Right? And it's already been talked about. She's not leaving until she gets a win. So she's going to die there. She's not leaving until she gets a win. That's what she said. So that means she's going to die there because she's not getting a win. She's not getting it.
The last thing I want to talk about, Sarge, is the 3 trailers. Okay. First up, I'm not going to play the trailer, but I am going to show the trailer. We're going to just sort of like a slideshow is what we're doing. Okay. Just as we're talking about it. So we have Jurassic Park, Sarge. Okay. We got Jurassic Park, and Jurassic Park. Did you watch this trailer, Sarge? It just came out today. Did you see this?
Okay. I did.
So as the trailer goes through, Scarlett Johansson is inside the movie now. She is the, I don't want to say the Chris Pratt because I don't think she's the same. I think she's more of a bodyguard in this. I don't think she's a scientist or anything like that. She's there to protect people, so she's a badass. Okay. Does this first of all, does this trailer intrigue you to? Did you watch the other ones with Chris Pratt? I haven't seen those. I haven't seen any of those.
I watched those, yes.
Okay, so you watched all 3 of those films.
I'm not sure if I saw all 3. Maybe 2 out of the 3.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
So,
all 3.
Are you excited about this? Watching another Jurassic Park movie? Are you excited about this?
I don't have kids, and I've seen enough Jurassic Parks. That's my honest answer, right? Like if your perception of a movie is different based on where you are in your life, right? If I have kids, I look at this and be like, awesome, I can take my kids to go see a Jurassic Park movie. The kids will love it. No problem. Right? But I've seen all the Jurassic Park movies, and this being another Jurassic Park, I'm just kind of like, I personally don't care. Because I've seen all the dinosaur movies. I'm good. But 100% agree, it might do well.
Yeah. No. Okay, so this movie reminds me of Lake Placid. When I saw the trailer, that's what it seemed like to me. The way it was much more water creatures and whatnot. So CGI always looked good in Jurassic Park. I didn't watch the last 3, but even back then when Steven Spielberg did the original, they were amazing, right? You go back to that, that's amazing, right? So all right, that's one, right, Sarge? So Jurassic Park, okay, Jurassic Park. The second movie, okay, is Fantastic Four. Okay, all these movies, by the way, come out. They come out in July. They're all coming out in July. Did you see the Fantastic Four trailer, Sarge?
Yep.
Okay, what did you think about Fantastic Four? Is this a movie you're going to watch? When's the last Marvel movie you saw in theaters?
The Deadpool movie.
Okay. Did you see one before that? Did you see the Thor: Love and Blunder or Black Panther 2? Nothing.
No.
All right.
Nope.
All right. So what do you think of this? Do you like the style? Do you like the?
I mean, I don't know what this is. It almost looks like I'm watching the Jetsons.
It does feel like the Jetsons. Yeah.
It looks like the Jetsons.
I believe it's a different universe, a different timeline. I don't believe this is the same timeline as the main MCU.
It's weird to me. It looks strange, right? First of all, I don't like the way they have to keep making a Fantastic Four movie because they don't want to lose the license, right? How many of these Fantastic Four movies do we have to see?
Well, no, they don't have to do that anymore because Disney now owns the rights to them. When it was owned by Fox, they had to keep making films because they didn't want to lose it, but they lost it. Disney bought the Fox license and Spotlight for $74 billion, so now they own Fantastic Four again. So they don't have to ever do that again. They don't ever have to make a Fantastic Four movie to not lose the license or X-Men or anything like that. They own the license now. It's not set in the 60s. It's set
It seems that way.
It's set in the 60s, but not the 60s. It's like it's
different
set
universe 60s.
Yes, it's in this alternate timeline, but I don't believe it's the 60s in the main timeline. It's an alternate timeline at the same time as the MCU is what I believe, but we don't know for a fact yet, right?
I mean, for once again, how many Fantastic Four movies do I have to see about the origination of Fantastic Four? Right? Just like how many times have I seen Uncle Ben die?
We the Random, thank you very much for the raid. Appreciate that.
Right. What? How many times do I have to see Fantastic Four, Uncle Ben die? How many times do I have to see the Fantastic Four? Like,
well,
what,
they're not doing an origin story. It's not an origin story, but it
Great.
looks like they're doing flashbacks of
the
how
origin story.
of the origin story.
in
Right.
case
It's
somebody who doesn't know Marvel.
It's a Cliff Note version.
Right. So now the question I have is, these movie theater companies have the balls to put all three of these movies in the same month.
In the same month.
The
same month.
As soon as I saw that they were all releasing in the same month, I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? It's already bad enough that you guys can't get your numbers when you're all alone by yourself in a month with other movies.
It's gonna be interesting,
numbers, right?
Well,
you're putting all three of these in the same month. I'm just like, what are they doing?
We're going to talk about it because here's the last movie, right? That's coming out in July as well, which is the Superman movie. Okay. Now, did you like the Superman trailer? Real quick, thank you very much, everyone, coming over from We the Random for the raid. Welcome to this is 30NSG. This is a podcast we do on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern called Generation X Gaming. We do this every Thursday, and then we do morning shows Monday through Thursday called The Daily Grind. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Welcome, hang out, have a good time. So here's Superman, Sarge. First of all, do you like the outfit for Superman? Do you like the? I feel like he doesn't.
I want to know.
He doesn't fit
why,
in the costume.
Yeah, but
it's like me running around in underoos. Remember that when we were kids? We were running.
I just want to understand something. Why is everyone so focused on his fucking costume? Like
it looks baggy on him.
They can change the costume.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Any way they want on a guy
sure.
Nowadays, right? My question is, if we're going to talk about reality part of it, is did anybody else watch any other Superman movie to understand what Superman is supposed to look like?
Yeah.
Like, why is the costume a point of interest for everyone? Make Superman's costume. I don't understand why it's an issue, right? I thought the Man of Steel one was decent. It was a more modernized version.
Yeah, it was more modernized.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? I like the little, it looked like fish scales or whatever it was. It wasn't like a plain pajama suit. Like, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't, right? Like you said, it doesn't look like underoos.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. This costume reminds me of like a onesie that I'll back up a little bit. Right? That shot right there. It's like his hip area, like it looks like baggy shorts, like he's running around, like he was, you know what I mean? Like it just looks.
If you listen, leave that picture right there. Picture no snow, and just him in a bed. It's just him in a bed. It's a mattress. It's a mattress commercial.
Yeah, someone needs to Photoshop that. Commercial. At a long day after saving the world, do you just want to lay down in a mattress-cita? Yeah, Serta-cita.
A Serta-cita mattress, right?
That's it.
That's exactly what it is.
Someone needs to Photoshop a bed underneath him. Chat, get on that.
Right? That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why do you have to put down the symbol of America into such a position where you don't feel hope or pride or anything? Like, what is with them putting down on the superhero? I don't understand why they do this. And plus the fact that after watching the trailer several times, I'm like, how many characters are you putting in this movie? Is this a Superman movie? Because it seems like
that's my biggest concern about this film.
Right? Why are there more superheroes in here? Why is this not a Superman movie? I'm curious.
That's concern. My biggest concern is not the character playing Superman. My biggest concern is not having Superman stand on his own. Again, I'll watch this one. Okay, so my question to you and chat, okay, out of these three films, they're all coming out in July. They're all coming out within weeks of each other. Which one, if you had to pick one movie?
That shot there looks horrible. Look at the shot.
Sarge, you could Photoshop him and put a bed behind him as well.
It's literally a shot of a downtown with this thing overlaid in the corner. It doesn't even look integrated into the photo at all.
Nope.
Like someone knocked this out in a weekend.
You could do this in 30 seconds.
Right?
Okay. Well, not 30 seconds. It's a still picture you could do in 30 seconds. So chat and Sarge, which movie out of these three films, out of Superman, after Jurassic Park. Okay,
It's a
here
trick
we'll
question.
put this picture
This is a-
back up
This is a
because
trick question.
he's tired. He's tired. Okay, or are you watching Fantastic Four? Which one are you watching? Okay, which one are you watching? You only can pick one. Which one are you watching? Is a must watch for you? Is it Superman? Is it Fantastic Four? Or is it Jurassic Park?
All right. So can I have the parameters? Right? Are you giving them? Are you giving me the money to go see something?
No, it's your money, but you only get
It's
to pick
my money.
one. Yeah.
And I'm only allowed to pick one, or if I do like multiple movies, I would go see multiple movies.
Sure,
Like,
there's people that will go see all three, but I'm asking just a question, a hypothetical.
Okay.
If you had to just see one movie, okay, which one are you watching? Are you watching
Okay,
Superman,
so-
Fantastic Four, Jurassic Park?
and this is how I think about it. So forgive me if I piss anybody off, right? So I've seen Fantastic Four enough. I don't care about your version anymore, right? Right?
Okay.
I don't care about your version anymore.
This could be the one, though, Sarge.
Right?
This could be the one Fantastic Four that rules over all of them.
I don't care about your version of Fantastic Four. I'm done with you. I've watched your movies. You don't progress. You're still hanging around the same shit, right? He could be fighting some super villain, whatever else, make it look cool for the trailer. Instead, it was like I actually heard the Jetsons opening song.
Meet George Jetson.
Yeah, when they were showing, yeah, that's what I heard. Right? I'm like, what am I
Jane,
watching?
his
right?
wife.
Right.
Ba, 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 ba.
Jurassic Park. I already told you, I don't have kids. I don't want to see another movie about dinosaurs. I've seen them all. I'm good. Right? I love Superman because of what Superman stands for, about America, about Earth, about the universe, about what he actually stands for, right? And it's a story. His whole story is always about hope, and that's what we need. So out of these three, Superman will be the one I go see.
Okay. My answer is Pedro Pascal. I'm tired of seeing this face. I'm literally tired of seeing this face. Okay.
Well,
I don't like the cat. I don't like the casting for Reed Richards.
He's hot. When you're hot, you
I
take as
don't
many
care.
movies. You have
I
to
don't
take
care.
as many movies
There's
as you
certain
can when
people
you're
that
hot. Get
there's
paid.
certain people that
Get
shouldn't be the character. He's not Reed Richards. Don't like him as Reed Richards. So I'm not watching Fantastic Four in theaters. Okay. Jurassic Park. I didn't watch the last three with Chris Pratt, and I like Chris Pratt. I like Scarlett Johansson. But at the same time, I don't give two shits about a Jurassic Park film. Superman. Okay. I like James Gunn films. Okay. I like his Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought his Suicide Squad was good. I want to give this a chance because, again, I like Superman. Okay. And I think this could be a good start to James Gunn's universe of DC. Okay. I'm a little worried about the too many characters, too many interactions going on in the first movie of the first. Because to me, this Superman film is the Iron Man film for Marvel with Robert Downey Jr. This is their Iron Man film to springboard whatever happens the next 15 years going forward for the DC universe. That's what this is for. So my vote is this. Now, my next question for you, Sarge, is it's different than what you're watching. Which one do you think is going to make the most money?
July is fucking jammed, bro. Jurassic Park because of the dinosaur kid thing, bro.
I think Jurassic Park as well.
When kids have to go to movies, you have to spend twice as much money on tickets. The parents have to go, plus you pay for the kids.
Yeah, I think Jurassic Park gets it, and I said this earlier today. I think Fantastic Four makes around 700 to 800 million. I think Superman just gets below $1 billion, and I think
it will. You think it will do $1 billion?
No, under $1 billion. It'll be like
Close.
850 to 900 million. Yeah, it's Superman, and I think Jurassic Park just gets over $1 billion. It'll be like 1.1 billion.
You're being very generous.
I am. It's the summer months. A lot of people probably going out to the theater. They feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
things have turned around in the country.
Things have turned around. Yeah, that's the summer. It's like the coming out. I think more people are going to spend money this summer for the theaters. That's my positive. That's my positive outlook on it. But I think Jurassic Park wins it. I think Jurassic Park has the bigger showcase. But I do think Superman gets the most for day one or opening weekend. Opening weekend, I give it to Superman, but overall, I give it to Jurassic Park.
Long-term Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Yep.
It's going to be one hell of a month. I'll tell you that.
All right. We go. We do this.
You know what would be
Go
really
ahead.
good though?
What's that?
If all three of those movies do really well, it'd be great for my AMC stock because they can't
Oh,
hide
yeah.
the fact that AMC is doing well.
Yeah, I hope. Well, God, I hope they do that. All right, we're gonna do Q&A. So get your questions in there. Hit Q before what you want to ask, and we'll be right back. All right, so it's Q&A. We'll leave this up for about 10 minutes or so. You guys have questions, go ahead and put it into the actual comment. You can ask us anything. We don't have to answer your question. So, Salty says, I still say Superman. Superman overall. Altern says, is James Gunn doing the Guardians of the Galaxy with every movie? A bunch of characters in the story to focus on just one. Yeah, it seems like that's the recipe that he goes for, right? Which is kind of sketchy because that means he can't write for like one character, you know? He needs other people to like hold them up. So AMC just increased the price to A-listers at the A-list thing. That thing lets you see like 4 movies a month for like $30. That's a good deal. Actually, it's three a week. It's like 3 a week.
Yeah,
So you could see 12 movies a month for that price.
Yeah. It's getting to the wacky part where let's just say that things are starting to move in the stock markets for stuff like this because AMC is being repressed. The stock price is being repressed because other theater companies are doing less revenue than AMC, and their stock prices are like at $30, $40, and $50, and AMC's at $3.
Right. It's
Right.
just a little weird. It's a little strange.
It's a little strange, right?
Yeah.
It's not, and their revenue is up, and somebody actually put a thing out the other day where Nvidia over the last 4 years between 2020 and 2024, they showed the revenue for Nvidia, and then they showed the revenue for AMC, and they're about the same. Like the revenue is about the same. No, is it Nvidia? Yeah, it was Nvidia.
No,
And
Nvidia's at $100 and something, isn't it? 100 and...
I'll find it. It's one of the computer companies, right? And so that's why they're saying anytime anybody wants to explain this, right? Revenue's the same. Anyone wants to explain why their stock price is
it's ridiculous. They're shorting it so bad.
They're shorting it bad. So if the problem is if these 3 movies come out and they're all bangers, it's gonna
Something's got to give.
It's gonna be like a fat kid inside tight pajamas. He's gonna start busting out. You know what I mean? Like you can't hold back. You can't hold back the actual numbers anymore.
All right, we'll get to the some questions. Mo says, so about the questions, can I ask any question? I mean,
Is that the question?
That's your one question. I'm sorry. We're out of time. Altern says, do you see Game Pass getting a prices up, or do they for a specific tier for World of Warcraft? I said this a while ago that they could do like an MMO type of thing. But overall, I just think that they could charge more for Game Pass, just putting more value. I do think if World of Warcraft comes to Game Pass, they do raise the price. Because right now it's what, $12?
A different tier.
Well, right. Well, it's $12 right now for Ultimate, and they want people to get Ultimate for PC. So if it comes to Game Pass PC Ultimate, they could raise that price to $15 because that's what people are paying for World of Warcraft by itself.
Right.
So they can raise the price $3 right there if they bring it over. What do you think, Sarge?
Oh, no, I don't have much to say different about that. That would be how it would work. It would be a different tier. You'd box it in to make people feel better about, well, I'm getting this. I'm already paying 15. Now I get 15. I'm paying for the MMO plus all these other games. That's a win. That's a customer win-win.
Right. Altern says, do you think that making the Respawn CEO Vince Sampel the head of Battlefield was fucked up the game more than it was fixing it? Because Battlefield 6 seems all over the place. I don't know if it's fucked up of him. I think he does good stuff. I think he's under a lot of pressure. I think that EA wants that live service money, and they want to make Battlefield that, but at the same time, they also want to put Battlefield as a campaign, but they also want it as a battle royale, and they also want it as a war zone, so I think there's a lot of stuff. I don't think Vince Zampella is the problem. I think it's more of corporate. And I think Vince Zampella is actually doing the best job, because I'm on record saying I was excited for Vince Zampella moving over there, because I thought after he got there, because Battlefield 2042 was already being made before he got there. Okay. I said, because he's there, he's going to turn it around, but we'll see.
Either that or trying to do this breaks him and he's out. Like, he'll try to do the best he can, but because he can't get everything, he can't do everything that they want to do. We said this before 2042 came out. We said that EA wants to make Battlefield into FIFA, right?
Yeah, they just every year come out and microtransactions.
That's what they want, right? And they told him, you got to do it this way, Vince. This is what we want. And like, well, how do we get people to stay in forever? So let me understand this: the Warzone and the BR and all that stuff before was cool, but then when we had it in the game, everyone kept complaining it kept dividing the player base. And because it divided the player base, you couldn't get full games all the time because you had people scattered all over the place. So now you're going to get 4 studios together to do it again, where you put it in the game and then you're dividing the player base of the game inside the game.
Right.
I don't understand why you want to do that, but he's got to do what he's told, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, and he is upper management, but at the same time, he's there to save the company, because the company was in bad shape before he got there. And this is his first. Yeah, this is his first Let me tell you something. Main game coming in from start to finish.
If anybody else wants to do some research, I did my research. Do the research on EA right now. Their numbers for the last few years, they're in trouble, right? Revenue for FIFA and Madden are down. They have no games coming out. Battlefield is supposed to be something that's supposed to make everyone uplift, like the company's going to grow. There's no growth in EA. It's stagnant and down. That's where they are, right? They're not coming out with anything else, right? So if you think that Vince is not under extreme pressure from corporate for this game to do well, you're dreaming. 4 studios, people. 4 studios.
Yeah, 4 studios working on one game.
Right.
Krebsy says, do you think the vacuum has formed in the first-person shooter genre that a new game could come along and succeed? COD, Apex, Battlefield, Halo, Destiny, all are hurting. Marvel Rivals would be this if it was a first-person shooter.
Well, technically, Krebsy, you could count Doom as a new game. Because
but that's a single-player game, though, not a multiplayer game. A first-person shooter, like all those are very, like Halo's got a multiplayer, Destiny, Apex, COD. Could a new game could come along and succeed? Succeed or be the next COD? There's a difference, right? Like, I think there's games that can come in that don't need to make the 20 million game sales to succeed. I think, like, it's a third-person game, obviously. Helldivers, right? Obviously, I know you're asking for first-person. But my point is, if a game comes in like a Helldivers, but it's first person, could that succeed, right? And is succeeding mean it has to sell 10 million copies, or can it be 3 million? Because to answer your question, the indie game that came out, a year ago, 2 years ago, BattleBit Remastered, that succeeded. But then again, that was only 3 people that made that game, right? Now it's done. But how many years does it have to be around to succeed? Can it get into the market? Does it have to take place of something? Like if a game comes in, does it knock one of these guys off the pedestal and takes the place of it, or is it just live amongst them? I guess that's my question to you, Krebsy. What do you think, Sarge? Do you think they could?
I don't think anybody else has the money to waste on an attempt to do a first-person shooter. Everybody is so panicked about the market right now, about what people will buy and don't buy. Everybody is on textbook, what will sell, textbook. We do this, and this, sell this game, right? Nobody's trying anything new. They don't have the money to do it. They've pissed away all the free tries they had, all the corporate money, all the donor money. It's all gone, right? Watch how these companies act. Everything they're doing now is textbook. How do we sell a game? How do we make money? That's all they're doing. Right? That's all they're doing. So I don't think you're not going to see anybody trying anything unless it's a AA studio comes out of the woodwork and they just try something fun because they can do it with their small studio.
Carve out the position of first person market and stay. So like be amongst, like be on the Mount Rushmore of first person shooters. it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard to succeed and be up on that Mount Rushmore, basically. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's definitely it's going to be very hard. What is this question? What does Sarge think about 30 calling him the console beta? Is this true?
I can answer that. I distinctly remember the time. I don't know why it's in my head, but when 30, I forget what the year was, but I remember him saying over and over again that I'm playing this game. You have to play it. I remember being inside of a Target. We were in Target, right? And at that time, I was a PlayStation person. I had the PlayStation
360, and it was
PlayStation. He was an Xbox 360.
Yeah, it was. You Left 4 Dead, I believe.
You went this whole list of games that we could play together, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. And I'm staring at it. I'm like, he caught me on an off day. I will say it. Caught me on an off day. I'm like, yeah, all right, this sounds cool. Sure. And I was a PlayStation guy. And I'm like, all right, I buy the goddamn 360. Let's go. I'll buy it. And so that's how it happened.
Yeah, we played Left 4 Dead. Right? I think it was Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead and Battlefield. All right?
Yeah.
It was Left 4 Dead and Battlefield.
Yep.
Yep.
Krusty says, do you think that Astrobot should just copy Nintendo again and make Astrobot Smash Brothers? They already got all the IP and the base game. They could use it in theorized game. I mean, sure. Is there a game on PlayStation that they have like that? I don't think there is, right? I mean, they tried to make a Splatoon with Foam Stars with Square Enix, and that didn't turn out too good. I don't see why not. I mean, the problem is Astrobot, as everyone says, is a fantastic game, and I do agree it's a fantastic game. It's a great platformer. People give it, got Game of the Year, but it only sold 2 million copies, and I want to say that's successful as the game because it probably didn't cost that much to make. But at the same time, there's 64 million PlayStation. That's a first-party title and only 2 million copies sold. That's not good. So I don't know if they make an Astrobot Smash Brothers, if that's the big money maker they need but it wouldn't hurt, I guess, if they keep the cost down and they can keep making all the IPs there and be better than what Multiverse did for all their IPs. I don't know, Sarge, you think Astrobot, if they made a Smash Brothers clone, it would succeed on PlayStation?
I think that there was a committee deciding on Game of the Year. I think we have to leave that part out of it just for the moment because they decide who wants to be Game of the Year. I'm sure whatever the voting process was, Sony needed a win, so they gave them a win. Do I think that Astrobot is a bad game? No. I think it's what they used to call a fun all-around game, right? A family game type of thing where you just have fun with it.
Right.
And I think that they wanted to put the attention on something else because of the years of controversy from the past. Think about it. And so they picked a game, the Game of the Year, to be neutral, right? No controversy, right? Astrobot won. No one can really complain about it. There's no controversy.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
It's a good game. It really is a good game.
It's a good game, right? However, if they actually cared about the character of Astrobot, then I agree with you. They would try to put him in other things and make him the new mascot or something. Because
they're definitely going to do that.
Right. If they do that, then it's justified.
But if they don't, move to do because they have to get the younger population to
that's
start.
Correct. But if they don't follow through with the Game of the Year and turn Astrobot into that, then I don't think that they actually cared about it winning Game of the Year because they don't want to capitalize on the actual win. Right. Because if you win Game of the Year, you want the momentum to keep going and you want something else to attach it to. We'll see. Right. In the next year or two, if there's not a sequel, then I ask the question again. I'll ask the question again. Why isn't there a sequel?
Yeah.
You got Game of the Year.
Cody says, do you think Ubisoft should have been working on Division 3 over the upcoming Battle for Brooklyn DLC for Division 2? I'm done with
I love
Division
that game.
2.
I love that game.
It's a good game. I enjoyed my time with it.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Division 3, and they are working on Division 3, but for some reason they're still doing. Yeah, it's going to be delayed. That's why they're doing DLC for Division 2.
That's
like
correct.
Division 2 is a definition of like just stumbling the rest of the way across the finish line. You know what I mean? They're just like, sure, we'll do a DLC. Oh no, we're not going to support it anymore. Just kidding. We're going to put some more support into the game.
Right. So imagine you listening to this the entire time. If you're paying attention like we were, right? Where they tell you that we're not supporting anymore, it's over. I'm like, okay,
Right.
we're done.
Great.
Right? Then all of a sudden it's like, hey, Battle for Brooklyn's coming out. Like, you guys aren't done with Division 3, are you?
No.
Like,
hey,
we
need more
already know,
time. We need more
right?
time. What's going to cost more time? Put a little bit of money towards Division 2 or a lot of money towards Division 3?
And remember, it's all numbers. How many people do we need to stay in game in order to get the percentage of them to spend money in game? That's all it ever is. And so this little title will bring people back into the game and keep enough people in there to justify whatever it is that they're making on MTX. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Right? I'm done. Right? I enjoyed the game, but you refused to give me a little cookie of goodness inside the game, of actual boss battle, closure in the story. Nothing. You just let it go over and over again. Right? I killed the same guy. How many times am I betrayed or traitor? Same guy again, not dead. Then he's dead. Like, bro, you have dragged my ass through the mud for 2.5, 3 years. I'm done.
Right.
I don't care if everybody in the special service is a traitor now. I don't care. Burn it all. Set fire to DC. Let it burn.
Here's Mo's question. He says, with the Trojan horse approach, do you think that Sony will change things when Xbox is the only games that their customers are buying? So what Mo's saying here is that if people are not buying Xboxes to play the games, but they're buying the games on PlayStation, we all have the same amount of time, right? So
time is time.
Time is time. So if 2 hours a day, instead of playing God of War, instead of playing Ghost of Yotei, you're playing Forza Horizon 5 now, or you're playing Sea of Thieves. The more games that they give options for and throw at you on Sony, Sarge, those people that are playing games, if it's 3 million, 4 million people, if it's 3 million playing Forza, if it's 4 million playing Sea of Thieves, if it's whatever, is this a good strategy? And do you think that Sony will change things when Xbox is their customers are playing Xbox games on their PlayStation? I mean, real quick before you answer, they did change this when MLB The Show sold more copies on Xbox than it did on its own PlayStation. And that was a first-party game. So, and there's less by a third, 2/3 less people that own an Xbox, and it sold more copies on an Xbox. So they have to look at that as a win, right?
I know Mo likes to stir the pot on this one. I know where he wants to go with this one. I'm not ready to go there yet, but I understand where he wants it to go. When everyone's finally done with the whole box thing, what ends up happening is you'll realize that if the games you play most are from a different, we'll just say, area, right? Then why buy a box? I can just buy the service.
Right.
Right. So eventually, if the games that you play are all on the service, then why do you buy a box? You'll just buy the service. And if that becomes the answer, which box aren't you buying anymore? That's the nicest way I can say it. And I will agree with him, except that people move slow up until a point, then there'll be like a fast motion, right? Just like we went through the process where people said they didn't want to buy digital, but when the corporations say we're not going to make any more physical, then you don't have a choice, right? Same type of thing, right? If there is no more boxes and there's just services, then you can't say, well, I own the box, right?
Right.
Right.
Paul says real quick, he says a research group said that they have no official data from Microsoft. Okay, but wouldn't they come out and say, no, that's not true? Wouldn't Sony want to negate that and say, yeah, that's not true. We actually sold more on PlayStation. Just a thought. Right? I mean, if someone said it sold more on the opposite box and Sony's like, that's not true, then, but they didn't. They didn't say that. They didn't say anything. And not saying anything is saying something. But that's just me. Okay? The next thing, Krebsy says, with Battlefield getting a fan feedback, what could DICE actually do with the feedback since the game launches within the next year? In my opinion, they're just setting up scapegoats.
That's correct. That's correct, because then they'll just say the players told us what they want and this was it, right? And let me ask you the question: are the people who are giving back feedback are going to step outside the room and talk to each other about what they told EA, right? So I tell you how I feel, they take the poll, and then after the game releases, it doesn't go well, and they just say, well, this is what the people told us, right? You don't know what we actually told them, because unless there's chat rooms and Reddit and everyone's like, well, what did you tell them? What did you tell them you liked, right? Like a subreddit of people who actually went into the testing of Battlefield and they discuss what they said. Otherwise, EA just says, well, this is what the kids told us. It didn't go well, but that's what they had wanted. Not our fault.
Real quick, I didn't
agree with that.
I didn't know Paul was referring to what Krebsy's saying. Krebsy said Microsoft last month, PlayStation makes 64% of their money. This means PlayStation will be prioritized, that the Xbox games will continue to go to PlayStation. Also fills PlayStation's library without PlayStation needing to spend. I didn't know you were talking about that because Mo said he's talking about what Krebsy said. All right. I was just going to say, because if MLB The Show sold more and they didn't negate it, I'll be like, well, then it would have to be true. So that's what I thought you were talking about.
They love scapegoats, bro.
I think of it a different way. Because people are so hesitant, they weren't going to pre-order this game. But if you could trick the audience, okay, that we're listening, we hear you. Not only do we listen and hear you, you can change what is going to happen to this game with your feedback. Your feedback is going to make this game what you want. This is a pre-order before a pre-order. Okay? When I logged in, okay, the other day, I was 1.3 millionth in line to sign up for the Battlefield Labs.
That makes it look awesome, though, doesn't it?
Okay.
It makes it look awesome that many people want to sign up. Right?
It's almost like waiting for the cable guy, though, because once the timer runs out, you have 15 minutes to sign up, but I'm not waiting 8 hours to wait for the 15 minutes, and I'm not home, and then I have to go back in the queue again. Stupid. Anyway, just let me, whatever. Besides that, this is a pre-order for the pre-order. They're seeing how many people are interested, right? How many people get in, build up the buzz. Oh, it's amazing. It's awesome. It feels like Battlefield. It's this. They have Battle Royale. They have Warzone. They have... That's all this is. This is a marketing ploy, not really anything. They know what game they're making. They know exactly what they're making. Sure, you have feedback. Oh, yeah, Battle Royale. Yeah, Battle Royales be great, but it's not Battlefield, like I said earlier. Okay? But 100%, this is a promotional ploy, and that's all it is. It has nothing to do with they're listening to you. Last question is from Mo. He says, from the ground up, what is your dream game? Must be new IP that you create. So you're saying brand new IP, meaning I can't pick an IP that exists, or I have to make like my version of Transformers, is what you're saying. Is that what you're saying, Mo?
For ground up, what is your dream game?
I want to know if it's fresh IP. I've said this before. We've actually answered this question before. Fresh IP, because there hasn't been a game of this. I mean, it's a new IP for video games, but it's an old IP that hasn't been used. It would be an Exo Squad game. Well,
you would say Exo Squad, but it would be a Mech Warrior hybrid game. That's how you have to sell it to everybody else.
Yeah. So if you were a creator, like the board game, yeah. So it'd be. So I really like this cartoon called Exo Squad. Okay, it's guys in like mech suits, and they're going up against.
It would be like Anthem, bro. Exo Squad would be like Anthem.
Correct. Right, but it would be with these mech warrior guys that are protecting the universe from Neo Sapiens. The Neo Sapiens, right? It's actually heavy shit.
Covenant
for right. It's a Covenant. They were clones, so they could work out on Mars and mined Mars. But then they became so big and independent, then they rebelled against, because they were slaves, basically, right? And then they fought up against the humans, And it was an awesome show. If you guys have never seen Exo Squad,
Very, very dark for a kid's show.
very dark for a kid's show back then. But I would make something along the lines of that. I think it's a very cool area. Or it's another IP that was in book form that never made it into. I would like a Vampire Hunter D video game. I love Vampire Hunter D. Great character, great story. I think if they made that into a video game, that would be pretty badass.
It's hard. Everything's been done, man. It's very, very hard to pick something. Everything I think about, and I think about the game, and then I'm thinking about anything that's like it, and I can find something that's like it because a lot of the popular stuff has been taken, right? If I were to give you something that I had in my head that I didn't relate to anything at all, you would question what the fuck I was talking about, right? If I say something, you're going to try to relate to it in some way, so that game already exists somewhere, right? It's difficult. I mean, I could go back and say that they would take an old game that before its time and like to redo it or remake it into something else, like a different version of the game. You could do that. Everything I have in my head, there's a version of it or something similar to it already out. Whether it's done well or not.
Paul says, make a new live service game and get Sony to buy it for $400 million and set sail into the horizon, suckers.
Right? Am I wrong, Dark Taco? I mean, you have to remember, I'm the resident old guy in the room, right? If I name something, everyone's going to relate to it on some level. You're like, oh, he's talking about like that, like something like that. Like that's so. If I say that, it's not original, is it? Because you're relating it to something. It's very hard
on the spot. It's hard to come up with something. That's why I said like I would like to see an IP that's not been used. Exo Squad, the last video game was off like N64. I think not even N64. It was like the Super NES.
Let's put it this way: after this Battlefield fails,
I'm sorry. After this Battlefield fails.
After this Battlefield fails, G.I. Joe Battlefield will save everything.
I mean, I'm up for it.
That's going back to roots.
I'm up for it.
Right? It covers all the bases. It's a made-up enemy. Nobody can complain. We're not going against Hamas or China or Russia or the caliphate of the Middle East. It's a made-up terrorist organization. It's called a terrorist organization. It doesn't get more generic than that. So you get rid of all that nonsense, right? Yep. So many vehicles, so many classes.
So many vehicles.
Right? But we'll see.
Chat, I have one more question. My question for you is, do you guys want to hear the song that I created for Mo?
Which version are you going to play?
Well, that's my question. First, do you want to hear it? Right? We have to have some interaction here. It's got to be more yeses, and it's not like 3 people, okay? And if so, what version? Do you want the rock opera version, or do you want the rap version? Okay, you answer the question. Yes, if you want to hear it, okay? Show some hype for it, okay? It's good. It's good. They're both good.
I think if you're going to play the first version, I think the first one is the
rap version.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Whichever one you think is best. I like the rap version. There's
a couple versions.
Yeah, I have a lot of versions of it. But the rock opera is pretty epic. But the rap version, I think, is more fitting. No, it's not X-rated. I have a rap. The Bethesda is a rap. No, it's not X-rated. Well, I guess it would be, Paul, if you're making a joke, because it is about Xbox. Rap version. I don't see enough yeses in chat, Charge. Do you? I don't see enough.
No.
Even though half the audience right now, we have 61 people. Half the audience is watching on Twitter right now or X. They're on X right now, so they can't talk or chat or do anything.
They're playing Diablo, bro.
Yeah.
They're on auto attack. They're playing Diablo.
They have someone else playing their game for them, like Elon Musk. Rossi says yes.
That's hilarious. Somebody probably built a bot for him to play.
Kingard says early 2000 rock or bust. Well, I don't have that. I have rock opera, or that's what I have loaded. All right. Let's go with we'll go with the rap version. Now, let me put this in pre-reference. I am not a fanboy. This is a song about Mo.
For Mo.
All right, it's a song literally about Mo, Big Mad Mo. Okay, so let me bring this up here. Let's see, is it one or two? One or two? I think it's this one. All right, here we go. Is that loud enough?
Big Mad Mo, always got the key. When you pay, he plays, that's how it be. Xbox in his veins, Game Pass in his soul. Saying boot on next season, that's how he rolls. Xbox invades enemy territories here. Watch out, PlayStation, you better fear. Less is more, nah, we charging more. Game Pass on deck, we ready to explore. When you pay, I play, that's the rule. No time for delays, I'm running it cool. If you build it, they'll come, trust the vision. Boot on next season's now the mission. When you pay, I play, that's the motto. Xbox power, making games feel like lotto. Game Pass is king and it's always in effect. We're taking over, no need to second guess. Left fans more, PlayStation's gone cold. If you're charging them more, you're already old. Big Mad Mo's got the controller, never gonna stop. Xbox in his hands, he's climbing to the top. Game Pass is life, yeah, that's the move. If you're not on board, then you gotta lose. PlayStation shaking, they're feeling the heat. Mo's got the power, the game's obsolete. Charge them more, keep raising the stakes. Meanwhile, Mo's in Game Pass, no need for breaks. When you pay, I play, no time for doubt. Big Mad Mo's winning, he's never backed out. Boot on next season is the ultimate flex. You know he's dominating Xbox, no stress. When you pay, I play, it's Xbox for life. Game Pass is rolling, no need for strife. Less rents more, but we charge them more. PlayStation's feeling the heat, it's a full-on war. Listen back to feet. Listen up, PlayStation, we're taking the crown. Mo's running this game and you're just falling down. Game Pass is rising, no time for delay. Mo's got the vision and he's here to stay. Just admit defeat. When you pay, I play, it's a legacy. Mo's got the power and Xbox is free. Game Pass for life, it's the ultimate win. So grab your controller, let's begin again.
That's what it's called, Mo. It's called You Pay, I Play.
I like that one better. Don't play the other one.
You know, that's my favorite one. That's the best one.
That's my favorite. The other one's not bad, but they don't get to hear that one for nothing.
Well, it's a rock opera. It's pretty long, but the guitar solo is fucking awesome in the other one. I got some good.
That was good. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, the boot on next season. Yeah, I asked Mo earlier today. I was like, "Can you send me all the things that you put in the chat by copy and paste?" I was like, I got a song. You got, and it was this morning when you guys said, "I pay, you play," or no, you pay, I play. Yeah, if you build it, it will come. Game Pass. I have a blast making these things. I have another idea, but I'm not gonna tell you guys. I have another idea that I'm trying to do right now with the AI songs. All right, that's gonna do it for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. If you like the podcast, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Like I said, we do this every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. We'll be back on Monday morning for the Daily Grind. There'll be more uploads as we go throughout the weekend. For if you missed any of the past live shows, go check those out. Give it a thumbs up. Hit up the other channel, 30 and Still Jamming, Nerdy with 30 and Still Gaming, and 30 NSG. You guys have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Game on, guys.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that blows sips. Critical